Under the Melbourne Cricket Ground lights, Richmond and Essendon feature in this round 15 blockbuster on Friday night's football.
Welcome to the Melbourne Cricket Ground, a crowd building up worthy of a blockbuster. Richmond third on the table against Essendon 5. I guess you could look at the fact that Essendon on the rise at the moment after last week, and Richmond may be slightly on a downer. You look at the positives for the Bombers. Paul Salmon, 8 last week, 16 in 3. Over 20 goals against the Crows, the victory last week, and less injuries this season than last year. And for Richmond, you could say, well, Turner got 3 weeks on Monday night. Richardson and Free are out for the year. Wigney struggling with a long injury, and Knight's out tonight, and back-to-back losses. But Wayne Campbell, who's been an outstanding success, and will be running out right now with Richmond as they come out. Campbell, what a year he's having as Richmond are about to come through. Now, their changes tonight. Dundas, Daffy and Jason Tawney are playing tonight. Tawney, a rookie, will be playing his first match. Dundas, first match for the season, and Daffy back after a couple of match suspension. I mentioned Wayne Campbell, who's been in outstanding form. He was at a press conference yesterday and he responded to the anti-Richmond feeling.
You know, there's been headlines that we're expected to fall over, and I think if we lose Friday night, we maybe have fallen over a bit. So there's that incentive to think that, we want to prove all you guys wrong, that you think that we can't play, and we actually think that we're a bit better than what we're given credit for. I suppose Swoop loves it that way. Loves being the underdog and loves sort of putting it across to us like that.
Now the Bombers are out. We believe that Hardwick will be playing, no Fletcher, and there's a query surrounding one other player, McCurry. Now we can see Hardwick there, number 39. Not sure whether David Flood's playing or not. We'll pick that up because Flood didn't play in the reserves. Welcome, Gerard, to Friday night football. Tremendous atmosphere, really looking forward to it. Mention the changes in the Richmond lineup. Where do you see the keys there?
Well, I think on the ground is probably going to be Richmond's best chance. They really do have to win the ball down there because Essendon has got a height advantage probably all over the ground, and there is a doubt also on Paul Bulluss. We believe that he is out there, but if he is carrying an injury, well then that does leave them undergunned. David Burke, was that?
No, it looked like Bulluss was there.
Oh, it was Bulluss, yeah. Well, then he'll be probably picking up Paul Salmon. But looking for the key players for Richmond, I think first and foremost you'd have to go for Wayne Campbell because of his outstanding year. Of course, Nick Daffy is back from suspension, and they're going to have to lift their work rate up a hell of a lot to cover the losses that we've already gone in. They've also only had a 4-day break, Richmond, so they are definitely under the pump. And if Wayne Campbell wants to answer the critics, tonight is going to be the big chance for him. He's got a huge challenge to cover the loss of a few of the leaders. And of course, Nick Daffy back from suspension, and with Maxfield and Nace, they've got a pretty dangerous load the ground side now, particularly up forward. And if he can just pinch a couple of goals, it may put some pressure on the Bombers.
Gavin Wagening's been gravitating forward, hasn't he? 4 last week against the Crows. Now we believe that McCurry is not playing, but he's definitely out. He does appear on our list, of course. Hardwick is into the team, so there is a change there. Where are the keys here, do you think, Gerard?
Well, very even side, Essendon. They've got a couple of youngsters also, but looking for senior players, as I think all keys should just about be. You look at Paul Salmon and James HIRD, who I guess is pretty young for a senior player, but he's one of the most talented players in the league. But one of the pluses, as you said, Paul Salmon's form back in front of goal. 4, 4 and 8 in his last 3 outings. And, well, he does take a long time to kick, but a pretty good performance to date. James HIRD, Sheedy's tactics have been questioned, but he's such a flexible player. Why not use him all over the ground?
Stirring scene here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground with a huge crowd in attendance. Be approaching 65 to 70,000 at the opening bounce. Couple of changes to Essendon's lineup, no change to the Tigers. The Big Dipper on the boundary line. Dipper.
Thanks very much, Bruce, and good evening. Once again, a big crowd, as you said. The public session absolutely full, and we should expect the crowd here over 70,000 people. No wind to speak of down here, so no damage in that area. The ground's quite soft because of the heavy rain we've had, and Richmond against all the odds, against all football theories, and I'm sticking with the Tigers tonight.
Going for the Tigers. Good on you, Dipper. They're the underdogs, no question about that. Robbo, welcome.
Yes, Bruce, as we see Bomber Thompson addressing the Essendon players, I noticed Dustin Fletcher and Stephen Alessio also out there on the ground, and pretty good spirit, but by gee, they've got some opposition because those Tigers on great fan of theirs. I think their spirit is enormous, and I'm tipping Richmond too, Bruce.
So both Dipper and Robbo going for the underdog tonight. Gerard, you were working this game on Sunday that I worked. Richmond and Carlton, magnificent match, wasn't it? Do you think they can come up in such a short time?
I don't, Bruce. Full credit to Richmond. They were honourable in defeat last week. In fact, that third quarter I would have thought was the best quarter of footy I've seen for some time. They won't go down. There's Matthew Dundas. Good to see him back in the Richmond side. I believe that he is playing a different role in the seconds coming into this game as a go-with or a tagger, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a job on one of the smaller Essendon players if they do get away. But the Tigers, I just think, are just a little bit undergunned, and they're going to struggle against Essendon, who certainly are on the up.
Just that short break, we did some stats on that. In the last 5 years, 45 occasions has been such a short break. 22 teams have won and 23 have lost. Not much in it. And in the last 2 years, 6 of the 9 that have had such a short break have won. And there's Salmon being picked up by Bulluss. Gerard will pick up all the major matchups. Grenvold with Daffy. Start of the game. Friday night football at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Tigers going to the left of screen, and Richmond with Deer in the centre, and Campbell there. A couple of players on the bottom of that.
Nathan Bauer has one of the biggest jobs on the park tonight, picking up Michael Long, the match winner for Essendon.
Currently just 8 degrees, expected to be about that all night. Somerville went in. There's Grenvold with Daffy. Denham through the centre, 2 centre half forward. HIRD at the back. Got a good go of it and ripped it away from Kellaway and took the mark. HIRD goes to full forward. Salmon on the lead. Bulluss at the back. Salmon couldn't quite hold it. Comes to ground. Handball by O'Connor. Daniher shrugs off 1. 2 tackles. Left-hand handball. O'Connor under pressure. Tried to get a little kick away. Caught. And it'll be a ball up.
Young Danny Morgan, in only his second game of football, does a pretty big job tagging Paul Broderick, who has been in pretty good form.
So the bounce of the ball about 25-30 metres out from the Essendon goal. Gee whiz, their tools are going to be a bit of a problem for Richmond, but free kick being picked out of that contest, and it will go to the Tigers to be taken by Broderick. Broderick is, as I said, only about 30 metres away from Essendon's goal. He kicks it to Michael Gale. You can see the 50-metre line there. Essendon's half-forward area. Left half back for the Tigers. Little kick by Michael Gale is okay, and the mark is taken by Kellaway. Kellaway growing in stature with every game he plays for Richmond. That kick, he let himself down a little bit. Brendon Gale gets the handball back. Campbell can't do much with it. Boundary throw in just forward of centre wing in Essendon's attacking half.
There you see Chris Danaher with a job on Wayne Campbell. It's been pinpointed.
And again, lopsided odds. 9-2 on the Bombers. Tigers might have had a piece of the odds against there. Free kick, and it will go to Denham.
Plays on, and Somerville got rid of Michael Gale behind play. They're having a little to do. They've sorted that out. It's at half forward for the Bombers. Cockatoo-Collins, hands quick, long on the left. Neat kick to Cowthorpe. Kellaway to go with him. They go to ground. Kellaway gets back. They'll have to get rid of it in a hurry, and he'll get a free kick. He is their rising champion, Kellaway. Kicks it out to centre wing. Campbell was the target. Symons came from the back. Danaher was able to hold Campbell up. Symons, neat kick to centre half forward. O'Connor front spot. Good strong mark against Tate.
Interesting, Bruce, going back and confidently having a look at the kicking the distance.
Powerful young man, isn't he? He's 21 years of age in his second season.
That best on-ground performance in the state game in Perth must have done his confidence no harm whatsoever.
Let's see if he can kick the opening goal of the match. We'll kick from about 52 metres. Drop punt, got under it, hooked it. Not a good result at all. So out of bounds on the full. Still no score. Bulluss to bring it back in.
Bulluss, as we've already mentioned, a pretty big job. He'll be giving away a few centimetres to Paul Salmon at full forward, but he's another Tiger that's come good since the middle part of the season. Kicks wide to right half back. The ball spills. O'Connor. Hand pass. Wider still. O'Donnell. O'Donnell's kick to half forward. just a little bit too high there for Hurd. Out goes Salmon. Good pick-up for a man as tall as Salmon. Well tackled. Ball spills to the back. It's taken by Rogers. He's tackled by Hurd. Prescott gets the handball and kicks it out of trouble for the Tigers. Centre wing, Symons gets rid of their Maxfield, but the umpire sees that as illegal, so the free kick will go to Maxfield.
And a good performer last week against Carlton. Got one vote. Very dangerous on that left foot.
Very good goer. He's kicking towards the centre of the ground. A good mark taken by Brendon Gale. Big performance by him if the Tigers are to win the game. The kicking towards full forward. It's out in front. Jurica gathers confidently, has a bounce, gets the handball back to Naish. Naish off the left foot, kicks to the nearly up to the forward pocket region. The ball spills. Elliott and Cockatoo-Collins. Through goes Daffy. His kick smothered. Darcy. Naish again. Kick there by Daffy, and it's Gary O'Donnell, a rare fumble. He's got enough time to recover his situation. Short kick has been marked by Mercedes.
Back pocket, little one to Morgan. Morgan to steady it up, the 20-year-old. This is his third game. One of a couple of rookies out there tonight for the Bombers. Kicks to half-back, but to Gale. So this is a promising start by Gale. So important with the Richardson injury earlier in the season. Gale's centering kick. Jurica outnumbered. Did he give a free kick to Darcy? He did. See what a difference in experience here. Darcy versus Jurica. Jurica in his first season. Now Morgan.
Morgan plays on and kicks in towards the centre of the ground. Big punch from the behind by Callaway. Taken again by Morgan. Morgan's kick has been marked by the scintillating Wanganeen off the left foot. Was that a bit fortunate, maybe? It's landed with Hurd, and the mark has been paid.
Going to be a tough job for Prescott, lining up on James Hurd. Such a versatile player, and not a bad couple of weeks, is it? Pick up Greg Williams and James Hurd in 2 weeks. Big job. Gavin Wanganeen getting the ball pretty clearly there too. James Hurd just hitting him right on the chest. Wanganeen, of course, being picked up by one of the best negative players in the game, in Chris Bond.
And Gerard, I think you've mentioned on more than one occasion what a magnificent kick Hurd is. Well, distance won't be a problem for this boy. Look at that kick. It is a beauty. First goal of Bombers. James Hurd has kicked the first goal, and Essendon lead by that margin.
Big punch there coming from Callaway, but well read there by the young bloke coming in for his second game. And there's the skills of the Brownlow medalist.
Back in the centre, free kick to the Tigers in the middle. Hurd getting the opening goal of the match. Here's Broderick, needing a big one. Goes to half forward, good looking kick. Neild was there, had it ripped away in the end. Grenvold, high ball back into the centre. Wanganeen sets himself, well played. Bond punches at the centre half forward. Hardwick attacked it pretty well. Morgan another touch. Symons, good job, held it up. Wanganeen really, Somerville could have left it for him. Decided to go, gets it to Long. Paddock in front of him, runs away, puts the ball down once with a bounce. Rather, Cockatoo-Collins goes into the pocket. And is it still in play? Hurd doing a fair job to try and get it back. So Cockatoo-Collins running away there. Kick just a bit wide. There's the captain of the Bombers, Mark Bomber Thompson, who addressed the players on the field before the match started. He's had a chronic calf injury for a long time now, hamstrings and calves, and hasn't played a lot of footy over the last 3 or 4 seasons. Rogers works it in front, missed it in the end. Cockatoo-Collins, brilliant, to Denham. Denham for goal, he's got it! Well played, Cockatoo. So the Bombers now with 2 quick goals.
Yes, some good football there by Cockatoo-Collins. Rogers just a little stiff, that ball wouldn't bounce up for him. And then Cockatoo-Collins, a neat handball, and Denham finishes it off. Essendon have kicked 2 goals. The Tigers have had the ball up as far as their full forward line. Haven't managed to score just yet. Deere gets rid of Somerville and then kicks with his left foot to half forward. Taken away by Flood. Short kick towards the half-forward area, left behind by Michael Gale. Bond does well and confidently has a bounce, gets back onto his right foot, kicks to full forward. It's taken by Hardwick. Just a little slow, but got his kick back towards the wing. Nearly the mark to Wanganeen. Gale's handball. Finds Maxfield. Maxfield's kick to full forward. Marking contest behind Brendon Gale. Mercedes there to mop up for the Bombers. Forced to kick wide. Gee, it's Essendon. Clearly out there on centre wing. O'Donnell's got 15 or 20 metres spare. He's kicking towards centre half forward. Prescott and Hurd. At the back, Callaway. Handball to Bauer. Gives away ground back to Tate. Brilliant smother by Hurd. That was lousy football by James Hurd to keep the ball at half forward for Essendon. Have a look at this. Just another one of those called one-percenters that Kevin Sheedy would have been wrapped in.
Deere and O'Connor. Bauer unable to. Good hands by Denham to Long, to Hard, to Morgan, I should say. Around his body to full forward. Salmon worked under at Somerville. Here's a third goal for the Bombers.
Well, very dangerous times now for the Tigers, because the Bombers are obviously on the fly, and with such a depleted lineup now that the Tigers have got, they've really got to just settle down and play percentage football, get this ball out of the middle. Deer's done quite well there, getting the first knock. Two Tiger players both flying for it, leaving Somerville unattended, and he just finishes off with the easiest of goals.
So the bounce at the centre. Deere doing well, getting his hand to it. So is Morgan to Chris Danaher, and a beautiful kick by Chris Danaher. 55 metres to full forward. A tough contest here. James Hurd able to gather. Oh, magnificent little left foot kick. Cockatoo-Collins has marked 40 metres out directly in front.
Well, they're just running rings around the Tigers right at the moment. John Northey has got plenty of headaches. But I guess there's nothing much he can do now until quarter time. Perhaps throw a few players around, but really just this whole Tiger side has to settle and play pretty hard football.
Cockatoo-Collins from 40 metres. Yes, it'll get the distance. It's got the accuracy. It is a goal. So Essendon 4 straight. Richmond yet to score. Hurd, Cockatoo-Collins, Somerville and Denham, the goal kickers for the Bombers.
Well, really now it just becomes the responsibility of each player, particularly senior players out in the ground, to just man up. There's not much you can do, particularly as a side against Essendon that throws their players around everywhere. One-on-one, go all the way until you just know where your opposition player is.
Flying start for the Bombers. After Hurd's brilliant kick to Cockatoo-Collins, Morgan got it from Denham to half forward. Good spoil by Kellaway. Hurd's little give was fantastic to O'Donnell, but said to be a throw, yeah. It was very quick, wasn't it? Prescott to Bond. Bond out towards half forward. Gale will get a free kick against Flood. Now Flood, one of two Essendon players coming in tonight for Dustin Fletcher and Mark McCurry, the other one being Hardwick. See Flood going early. Now Gale centering kick, Jurica the target, he's got him. Darcy Spoil coming late.
Better move by the Tigers, just bringing the ball into their two key forwards. Brendon Gale obviously off to a terrific start. Maybe just a bit too tall for Flood. I was actually surprised that Cummings started on the bench. I thought he would have been the perfect matchup for this bloke because he's so strong. But now lots of pressure onto Stephen Jurica, who's played just 5 games. And whilst he had a pretty shaky start to his AFL career as far as goal kicking was concerned, he was pretty impressive, particularly early last week against Silvani.
From 45 metres, good looking kick, he's got it. Well, that's a good comeback, isn't it? What Richmond needed badly, and a real bonus with Jurica, the one getting the goal.
Now, there was just some concern about whether this mark was held or punched away, and it certainly was held on that replay, but pretty good kicking style, perhaps just getting a little bit close to the man on the mark.
Another impressive young player for Richmond, Stephen Jurica. Somerville up early, Deere judged it a bit better. Chris Danaher tried to hack it out of the air. O'Donnell runs onto it. Good smother by Bond. In goes O'Donnell again, effectively towards Long. Denham's been in the play. Handball past O'Donnell, slips. Rogers, Somerville beaten for it by Maxfield. Just that little bit of pace. Handball into the path of Daffy. Does well. Now Jurica again. He's 50 metres from goal. Flips it to the back. No one there for Richmond. Grenville just holds them up 40 metres from their goal, and the umpire is forced to bounce. Richmond bench, young Tawney, Charles and Dundas, 18 years of age. Jason Tawney coming across from South Australia. Bounce of the ball, Jurica doing the ruck work, gets a big fist to it. Denham tackled by Broderick. Morgan again. Michael Symons handball, Darcy gotten rid of. Elliott clear to Daffy. Daffy's snapshot. It'll clear the players. Has it been touched? I don't think so. The Tigers have got their second. Great kick by Daffy. Just cleared the two players in the square, and he's kicked his first.
Well, he has had a dramatic rise to prominence as a goal kicker, Daffy. And this is just typical of the way he gets them. He just sort of manufactures them out of nowhere. That was just pure goal sense. And a pretty handy one. Tigers are back in it.
Swift response by the Tigers, a much needed one, but they are right back in business. 4 goals to 2.
Denham being taken to the ground. You mentioned that he was getting plenty of kicks. Well, one of the reasons is that he hasn't got an opponent. Michael Gale, who is his direct man, is playing a loose man across the half-back line for the Tigers.
Somerville works to the front against Deer, then looks for a free kick, taken by Denham again to half-forward. Hird, unbeatable when he takes the front position like that. Impossible to knock him off the ball.
Tell you what, he'd be a chance. No, he's going for the short.
To Salmon on the end of it. He's got him. He's almost complete, Hird, isn't he? He's just about the 100% package.
Yeah, great finishing touches, plenty of courage, good skills all round. And when a forward line is able to be kept open and you can bring the ball in like that, it's almost impossible for any forward, any defender, I should say, to affect any sort of spoil. Pinpoint passes is really the linchpin of the Essendon game plan.
Salmon has been in great form in the last 3 weeks with 16 goals, but he never gave that a chance. We saw him in his comeback game here, kicked 4 against Hawthorn, got 8 against the Crows last week, but a miss there. So the Bomber bench, 4-1 to 2 goals. Cummings on that bench along with Doolan. Now Richmond go long, but Wanganeen gets hold of it. Centering ball back to centre half forward. Salmon in the middle, brought it to ground pretty well. Cowthorpe threw it, was caught and then had nowhere to go. And he won't like that tackle on him.
Playing up in the forward pocket this evening, has been spending a bit of time in defence.
Bauer to Michael Gale. Bale was pretty good on Sunday. Brendon Gale, good stretch. Been a promising start. Oh, he sent Maxfield up high, tackle long.
Yeah, pretty tough on Michael Long because Maxfield just went to ground. He ducked on that occasion.
Goes long as he usually does. Jurica. Oh, that's a fantastic mark. Real strength there. Oh.
Look at the broad shoulders on this bloke. And I just think that Scott Cummings perhaps a better matchup. We saw him out-bustle Steve Silvani a few times early in the piece last week. But you just only have to look at just 5 or 6 frames of this fellow when he takes a mark like that, and you would know that the Tigers have got a pretty talented customer on their hands.
It's got the look of a baby assassin, hasn't it? A fresh-faced little kid. But boy, that was strength personified, that mark. Let's hope that he goes back and dobs it through. Won't this send a roar around the ground from the Tigers? If Jurica can goal from 45 metres, just pushes and misses. But he's giving them a lot to look forward to, Gerard.
Well, whoever's done the recruiting for Richmond over the last few years has done an excellent job. When you consider they've got Richardson, who's only a baby, I guess, in football terms, and also Edwards, who's in the same category, to come back into this side. Mine just boggles at their the wealth of riches that they've got up forward.
Mercedes with the ball at left half back for Essendon. His kick is wide and marked by Morgan. Morgan on centre wing, and he's got a 50-metre penalty. I don't think Swooper Northey would be too happy with that, and the offender on this occasion was Wayne Campbell, one of his more experienced players, bearing in mind that, gee, there's some youth out there in, well, both Guernseys, I guess.
Played with Carlton VSFL last year, this young bloke.
Morgan. His kick will land nearly to the square. Oh, trying to crash through there. Could have been Calthorpe, wasn't it? No, it was Wanganeen nearly got past. Chris Bond in there trying to get the ball clear. The umpire will bounce. Talking about goals, if Wanganeen had been able to get through, that would have brought the house down. Umpire bounces. The umpires Nash, Rich and Russo. The ball spills to the ground. Richmond under pressure right in Essendon's goal square. The Bombers lead 4-1, Richmond 2-1. 6 minutes left, you can see there in this first term. The bounce, Ruckman, Salmon. The ball spills now for Elliott. Oh, just tripped by his own man as he was about to get clear there, Jamie Elliott. And the umpire will throw it in. Right forward pocket for Essendon. So a chance here for the Bombers to score. Somerville in front, gets an effective tap to the back. Bond can't get past. Hand pass wide to Gale. That's Michael Gale in defence for the Tigers. His kick goes to the wing. Now the opportunity here is with Flood. Flood's handball down the boundary line. Morgan, he's had the ball a bit. Hand pass, not too good. He's had 10 possessions. Chris Danaher, little hand pass. Grenville went on with it. He's going to get a free kick anyway. It was a rather crude tackle, too high, and David Grenville has the ball at right half forward.
Not only has he had the ball 10 times, he's kept Paul Broderick to 3 possessions.
Grenville's kick in the direction of Salmon, taken by Bond. Tigers out of trouble, mark taken by Symons on centre wing.
And plays onto the pocket. Look at this, Cockatoo-Collins alone. Well, Rogers started on him, and I guess he's still on him, but...
Well, this has been a change made because Chris Bond, who's on the mark, was picking up Gavin Wanganeen, who is now standing beside Rogers. So we'll just have to wait until the centre bounce to see whose responsibility it was there.
He's already kicked 1 goal, Cockatoo-Collins, from 40 metres out. He's timed it pretty well. He's got it. So now Essendon steady the ship, 5-1 to 2-1.
And he's another gifted youngster, Shea Cockatoo-Collins, as is this bloke. I think this guy is an electrifying player, and it's just difficult to see how players get away by themselves, but generally it's because of a turnover.
(2-1, 5-1). Richmond out of the centre. Rogers still picking Cockatoo-Collins up, and Bond running with Wanganeen.
Darcy punches into the clear. Symons again. Always looks to give the ball off to his team's advantage. He's forced to kick in towards the centre. No mark. Bauer goes after it again, and a second time. Showed courage. Rogers gets the ball forward for the Tigers. At the back, the mark. It has been taken by Campbell. Campbell just struggling a little early in this game and being picked up by Chris Danaher. Michael Long in a bit of trouble behind play. And it may have been Michael Long that went at Bauer. Bauer came out of it all right. Michael Long just a little sore, and the trainer's still attending to that player. This is Campbell from 25 metres. Wayne Campbell's wobbly punt kick is a goal. So Richmond hang in there. Essendon 5-1, lead Richmond by 12 points. The Tigers are 3-1.
And Wayne Campbell certainly needed that one. Bauer, who's doing pretty well on Michael Long at the present time, just shuffled that ball forward, and pretty well judged there by Wayne Campbell, who, well, it wasn't a great kick.
Bounce back in the centre, and Essendon may get clear. Somerville, hand pass to Flood. Flood off the left foot. His kick will land at centre-half forward.
HIRD, well done by Bond. Now Michael Gale. Richmond from half-back. Gale with one bounce. Stops, sort of props, and then goes towards centre wing. Good kick, actually. Got to Naish. Held the footy out until he had the option. Naish on centre wing, on his left foot to half forward. Gale the target. Broderick, left-hand handball. Had some power, but Symons cut it off very well and then went to the boundary line cleverly. Symons' stats are impressive. 4 kicks and a handball and a couple of marks. What a versatile player he is, Michael Symons. An unusual footballer, one of a kind really. 3-1-5 on Calthorpe, high tackle, must be a free kick. He's got it. Goes to play on successfully. Gets the ball towards centre-half forward, wanting O'Connor. Bouncing ball, Bond. Handball was pretty slow. Gale had to go. Good tackle on him. Chance now for the Bombers. O'Connor wide. Wanganeen at 50. Wanganeen brought to ground, holding the footy. Magnificent tackle and 50 metres. Wanganeen, who's got such a feel for the game, not feeling the Kellaway tackle, which was sensational.
Yes, that tackle made up for a pretty poor handball there by Chris Bond, who just gave it too much air and put Michael Gale under all sorts of problems, but that was just an outstanding tackle.
Kellaway's wobbly one, well, he's let himself down. Bad luck, because the tackle was as good as you'll see, and Symons goes out wide to Hardwick.
Hardwick's got the football just behind the wing. Sweeps around onto his right foot, kicks it towards half forward. HIRD made a good contest of it. Denham's hand pass, Calthorpe in trouble. Is that illegal? No. Play goes on. Chris Danaher, hot footy in the middle of the ground. Wanganeen taken down by Campbell. Ball spills out towards half forward. Morgan in the action again. On this occasion, he has given away the free kick, and it will go to Broderick. Broderick, one of the key Richmond players in this game. His kick to forward pocket. Good contest provided there by Jurica again, and the ball spills over for a throw-in. Right forward pocket for the Tigers. Only a 12-point margin so far. There's Stephen Jurica. He's kicked 1 goal, 1. Down under 2 minutes left in the first term. Terrific crowd at the MCG for Friday night football. Brendon Gale's quick kick out of the pack gets a little closer to the Richmond goal, but that boundary umpire will have to throw it in. Brendon Gale, one of the taller players left in this Richmond side. Bulluss, Jurica and Greg Deere. Deere doing the ruck work up against Somerville. Ball comes to Broderick. Broderick, left foot shot for goal by Paul Broderick. The flags go up, but it's only a behind.
Be a good poker player, Broderick, wouldn't he? Didn't give an inch away there. It looked a goal.
Speaking of poker players,
Kevin Sheedy. Been playing for a while, hasn't he? It's been a big hand he's had. Darcy in his 14th season. A cat come bomber. Looks around, he'll be given a warning in a moment. Goes short, was accurate, got to Flood. Flood also an interesting player. 10 seasons, this is his 57th game. Goes wide. Symons worked under it, he's going to get a free kick. Loose play there by the Bombers because Symons was never in a marking position and the Tigers gave the free kick away.
Flood statistics, I think, say a lot about the Essendon Football Club as a whole. Most players would want to leave under those circumstances, but they must have something special for him to be continually there.
Long took on Deere, but Tape cut across well at half-back. Richmond going very well here. 3-2-5-1 behind, I know, but Essendon kicked the first 4 goals. Ricocheted away from Somerville. Bowers, quick kick. Centre wing, Daffy and Grenvold. Grenvold runs away from Daffy, who gets one little tackle on him. Handball back to Long. Long's hands were quick, but not accurate for once. Normally spot on in that situation. Grenvold just rolls it over and out of play. So it's 31-20 late in this opening term.
Kevin Sheedy close to quarter time. Still barking instructions down there on the boundary line in the interchange area. This is Campbell. Tigers a chance to score from this foray forward. Campbell's kick, nearly taken by Neal. He keeps his footing nicely. Handball, Jurica. Second goal for Stephen Jurica. 4th goal for the Tigers. Terrific football by the young Richmond side. And don't worry about them, the spirit of the Tigers alive tonight. They trail by just 5 points.
And one of the best bits of ruck work you want to see coming from Paul Deere. He got it to Wayne Campbell, who then kicked it up. Now just watch Campbell, who's run about 150 yards. There he is again. And that, in fact, was from Greg Deere, not his brother Paul.
Well, this is a great comeback by Richmond. 4-2 to 5-1. They've set the stadium alight. Maxfield held up. Good tackle. But Richmond kicking 4 of the last 5 goals in this opening term. They have clawed their way back into it, the Tigers, and have set up what should be a fascinating match tonight. Cockatoo-Collins with a couple, HIRD, Somerville and Denham. They're the goal kickers for Essendon. Jurica, a couple. Daffy and Campbell, the goal kickers for Richmond. It's 4-2, 5-1.
And one of the reasons the big crowd has turned up here is to support Richmond, because they know they're going to get value for money. They were under the pump. They were 4 goals to love down. Then a pretty good move has worked for Richmond in putting Michael Gale as a loose man in defence just to settle the ship down. They finally got their game going again, the Tigers. And the emergence of Jurica is just another exciting prospect for the Tigers. If they miss out this year, they've got plenty of years to look forward to lots of success.
So the score at quarter time, Richmond 4-2-26, Essendon 5-1-31. Quarter time at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. The Tigers are 4-2, the Bombers are 5-1.
This is Friday Night Football from the MCG, presented proudly by 7 Sports.
John Northey leaving the ground. What did you make of a dipper in the opening term? Danger signs early for the Tigers. They came back strongly.
There's a lot of spirit in that Tiger huddle there. I mean, John Northey did say to his players, look, the game is up for grabs. If you want it, it's yours. And on the other side, Kevin Sheedy certainly wasn't happy with his charges late in that quarter, because in the first half, the boys took control of the game. And this game is really a game of matchups. I think Barrow and Cockatoo and Tape and Wangadine and Campbell and O'Donnell. Was Campbell late in that last 5 minutes got a few touches, Bruce?
He did, kicked an important goal and got one forward, which resulted in a goal. So we'll see if there are any changes. Darcy still on Jurica. Start of the second term. Friday night football at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. The Tigers 4-2 came roaring back at the beginning of the opening term. Essendon 5-1. Essendon to the left of screen. Somerville went there. Here's Broderick out of the centre. Oh, got onto a talk. Got it up towards full forward. Hardwick went at it very hard. Symons' handball. Half volley by Masidi. Kept his cool. Got it to Darcy. Good play, Smoke and Joe. Darcy in the back pocket. The veteran's got the job on the kid. The rookie Jurica, who kicked 2 in the opening term. That's a good kick to O'Donnell. There was a big hole and O'Donnell fielded. Runs away. In typical style, kicks to HIRD, who had an excellent first term. The key Essendon forward, James HIRD. Plays on quickly. Kicks it in the salmon direction. Gives him a chance. The big fish, well played. Bulluss. Cowthorpe snap is good. It's a goal. Cowthorpe gets his first goal. Essendon get number 6. 6-1 to 4-2.
And it was a good get out of jail there by the Bombers, because they were deep in defence, and then they brought it down through the middle of the ground with pretty good skills. It was a great kick of Darcy's into the middle of the ground to find O'Donnell, who's now in the centre being picked up by Maxfield. And this is what playing the forward pocket's all about, just making the most of your chances at the fall of the ball.
Yeah, another good kick in that passage too by James HIRD. Good mark and a kick. Campbell from Deere. Campbell's kick to half forward. Doing well at the centre bounce is Greg Deere. Broderick taken to the ground. Daffy across his left shoulder. Masidi maybe could have nearly taken that mark. Got the ball. Neil. Danaher. Attempted punch away by Hardwick. Good stuff, Morgan. Went hard for the footy. In there was Elliott. Spinning out of trouble is Neil. On to Broderick. Broderick. He's snapshot. He's got this one, Paul Broderick. He missed in the first term, but he's kicked his first goal early in the second quarter, and it's back to a 5-point margin in favour of Essendon.
Well, interesting one for Danny Morgan here. I wonder what he'll learn out of this. You'll just see him diving into the pack in a second. There he goes in to win the football, but then all of a sudden the man that he's minding bobs up and kicks a goal on him. So a lesson to be learnt there.
5-2-6-1 for the second time tonight. Richmond have scored a goal from a kneeled handball off the ground by Long. Gets it to half forward. Prescott tackled by HIRD. Wanganeen HIRD, you back him. He is a gem. If you're playing in a grand final, Gerard, he'd be the first bloke you would pick. 7-1-5-2.
Yes, and isn't he a master of that around the corner kick? I think probably as a forward, Kelvin Templeton did it as good as I've ever seen. But this bloke, well, in the last couple of years, I've seen him kick under pressure some absolute pearlers just in that fashion.
What about the little dispossess on Prescott? I think Prescott thought he was going to get away with a kick there. James HIRD came from nowhere and finished up with a goal. They lead again by 11 points. This is Maxfield off the left foot. Good kick. Up towards the forward pocket area. Darcy, safe chest mark, plays on. Kicks down to the wing. Michael Long, acrobatic as ever. Gets the hand pass away to Grenfold. Grenfold coming off the half-back flank. Kick smothered off the boot. Long into the action again. Handball over the top for Mercedes. Mercedes' hand pass to Hardwick. Hardwick's kick is high. Sit under that. Wayne Campbell did and took a safe chest mark. Plays on quickly. He's on centre wing. He'll kick the ball to centre half forward. Oh. Well done, Jurica. From behind, got the front posse. He'll kick to a vacant full forward area. There's no one back there. His kick has got the distance, but not the accuracy. And he's kicked his second behind. 2 goals, 2 to Stephen Jurica and Matthew Lloyd. Well, I'll date myself a little bit here. Gerard, I played football with his father, Johnny Lloyd.
Well, I'll tell you what, if his father could play as well as he did, he would have been a champion, because that young bloke, I've seen him take a couple of outstanding marks.
O'Donnell marks the kick in from Darcy.
Gives it away to Symons. Oh,
he's a genius.
It was pretty well done, but now under pressure, but did get it to Mercedes. Well played. Chris Danaher, good handball to Morgan, who had an excellent first quarter. Cockatoo-Collins to full forward. This is brilliant football. What a build-up.
When you see that happen, you just realise that the pressure through the middle of the ground is all important, because once Cockatoo-Collins got clear, Salmon was a Monty to get that football. Just have a look at that, wasn't he? He just danced through the pack like Maurice Rioli of 10 years ago.
And Cockatoo-Collins finishing it off to Salmon. It's one thing about the big fish, I mean this in the nicest possible way, you've always got time for a replay when he's taken a mark and having a shot for goal. Let's hope he kicks this one. He missed one in the opening term. Normally pretty reliable. He's given that a push too. So that's a good result for the Bombers, because rather for Richmond, because it was a magnificent build-up by Essendon. And a goal there would have given them a nice little cushion. But it's 7-2 to 5-3.
There's still only 11 points in the game. Bond, the Richmond player, to kick it back in.
And Maxfield just in a little bit of trouble when he smothered that ball. He appears to have come off a little bit worse for wear, and he's pushed up back onto the half-forward flank, being picked up by Symons.
Bond goes in short and finds Michael Gale. Michael Gale in the left back pocket for the Tigers. Short kick again. Knocked away from Rogers. Back in the Prescott direction. He's tackled by HIRD. Ball spills out of his hands. And a boundary throw-in will take place. It's about 60 metres around from Essendon's goal, and the player that Gerard was referring to, Stuart Maxfield, well, he looks to be okay in that picture anyway. O'Connor doing the ruck work, takes it out of the air. Back to Denham, brilliantly smothered there by Tate. Denham goes and makes a good contest of it again. Ball spills to Rogers. A little push there, the umpire, you could see him indicating there that the free kick is for Denham. Denham, right half forward, plays on quickly. Ooh. Scrubby old kick. Kelthorpe, some shepherding could provide a chance here. Broderick tackled, gets the handball wide. Rogers again under a bit of pressure. Bauer on Michael Long. attempted kick off the ground was by Prescott. Is he the player underneath all that? No, it's Callaway, actually. And the ball at centre-half forward for Essendon, some 60 to 65 metres from their goal. Not a bad evening for football. It was a brilliant morning here in Melbourne, but we've had some rain during this afternoon. Somerville, hand pass. Ball spills for Bauer. Controls it pretty well in the finish, but the hand pass, yes, the umpire has picked that up.
It was a professional free kick, that one from Cockatoo-Collins, because Bauer was away, and once he starts running, not many people can catch him.
From centre-half back, gets to half-forward. Brendan Gale, the target. Took the mark unopposed to Rogers, who struggled a bit so far on Cockatoo-Collins. Neat left footer, kneeled the target, worked to the front. Naish ridden into the ground, had to give it away. Oh, good hands, Jurica. Maxfield tucked away in the pocket, kicks the goal. Good footy, Tigers. Gee, they're coming again, Gerard. They did it for 3 quarters against Carlton, didn't they, on Sunday?
Very similar game unfolding as to last week, and Stuart Maxfield, who I thought was outstanding last week for the Tigers, is once again having another good game. And have a look at the hands on Jurica there, just for a young bloke coming in for his 5th game of league football. He's just showing it all.
A lovely kick there by Maxfield. He's on a tight angle, and he got the goal for the Tigers. Morgan goes towards half forward for Essendon. The ball with O'Connor. Handball, Cockatoo-Collins. Getting in position was HIRD. Prescott is there, HIRD. Trying to just control the footy. Calthorpe's handball. Kicked away by Rogers. No one on centre wing. The ball just bounces into a vacant area. Hand pass by Brendan Gale. Nearly as far as Tate. Gets it back to Brendan Gale. Brendan Gale's left foot kick. Gets about 40 metres to half forward, but a good mark taken by Symons. What a wonderful rebound player he is across half back for the Bombers. His handball for Somerville. Darcy's run a long way from fullback. Jurica, perhaps not reading it as well as Tim Darcy. Michael Long, and a bit of an up and under. HIRD, terrific mark. Put himself in that front posse again, and he'd be half a chance. He goes back and lets it go. The long kick goes to the goal line and gets there. James HIRD has kicked 3 goals, and we're not up to half-time. There's still 14 minutes left in this first half of a very entertaining game between the Bombers and the Tigers.
I very rarely see James HIRD take mark of the day, because he just always plays in front, and that is just one of his great attributes. I just wonder whether Duncan Callaway wouldn't be worth a try on James HIRD, because he is that sort of player that when he's in form, he can cut you apart. Take nothing away from Prescott, but with 3 goals, perhaps a change.
6-3-8-2, HIRD 3 goals. Morgan getting lots of possessions. Michael Gale on the left foot to centre half forward, or Hardwick attacked it. Nash waited for it. Hardwick's left-hand handball to Morgan was good. He had 27 possessions in his 2 matches going into this one tonight. He's going to add to that total pretty impressively. Cockatoo-Collins spins, weaves, finds a bit of territory and goes to half forward looking for Wanganeen. HIRD went to ground for one of the few times. Rogers should chip it. Oh, had to be accurate to Gale and missed him completely. Gale had a paddock. Struggled with injury, Rogers. Had a hand injury this year. Justin Charles warming up. He did come on in the last quarter for Greg Deere last week when Jamie Elliott also came on. Cockatoo-Collins, high ball, HIRD and Prescott. Well done that time, Prescott, and out of play at half-back. So half-forward right now for Essendon. They lead at 8-2 to 6 goals 3.
Boundary throw in, right half-forward for Essendon. Flood doing the ruck work. Deere from behind. Much happening there. Callaway gets his left foot to it. Goes past Rogers, taken by Grenville. Handball back to the centre. Denham shares it with O'Donnell. Build up with O'Donnell. Look for something here. Look for a goal by Gary O'Donnell. Well, he summed that up pretty well. He could see that there was just that little bit of space to run an extra few metres, which gave him the chance with the long kick, and he finished it off brilliantly.
Yeah, and he still kicked it from outside 50, which is a pretty long kick in anybody's language. Probably knew that Nace was bearing down on him. He should have known with talk from his teammates. Great finishing work from Mr. Reliable.
O'Donnell and Hurd have kicked the last couple of goals for the Bombers. They've stretched their lead again, 9-2, 6-3. Essendon leading. Richmond need the next one. Elliott broke one tackle. Then a high ball to full forward. Jurica caught out of position. Symons will take it. Maybe a free kick to Darcy makes no difference. Symons at full-back, playing really well again tonight. Now Darcy obviously to run off Jurica as much as he can, having trouble in the man-to-man body exchange when they go for a mark, but he's getting some rebound, Darcy. That kick to centre wing. Richmond had a couple of the numbers. Gale tried to get it to Rogers. Rogers went to ground, gave it away to Cockatoo-Collins, who's wreaking havoc at the moment. His kick to centre wing, well done, Tape. Has to get rid of it, gets it to Michael Gale. Goes back to Bauer, little chip, was accurate, was good. Centre wing.
Dundas on for Elliott, Tigers.
Rogers to half forward. Again Symons, who's playing some sort of a game, 6 marks. 7 kicks prior to this, and a few handballs. Sweeps it to O'Donnell. O'Donnell wide. Somerville in the race for it.
Not a bad little kick by O'Donnell. Gave Somerville a chance. Hand pass. Well, that wasn't really to O'Donnell's advantage. He goes for the line, and he's kicked it out on the full, and he's disappointed. Short kick by Dundas. All right, he's found Campbell. Wayne Campbell. Short kick again. The lead was on. Provided by Gale, but chipping in is Morgan. Morgan's hand pass. Daffy. Snapshot by Nick Daffy. They'll get a score. It'll be a rush behind. Getting back Jurica. Couldn't control it. Darcy provided the competition there. And Richmond go on by just that one behind. Essendon 9 goals to lead. Richmond 5 goals for 11 minutes left. Justin Charles is on the ground for Richmond.
Darcy looks for Chris Danaher. Good kick. He's done it well tonight, Darcy.
Flood's gone to the half-forward line for Essendon.
Hardwick's kick to Somerville and Hurd. Somerville had the run. Hurd sort of laid back for him. Quick play on to Cowthorpe. Hurd running onto it with Salmon. The big fish just tapped it to Hurd. Oh, great smother by Richmond. Wanganeen goes in there. Prescott courageous. Hurd on top. And it's going to be a ball up about 30 metres from Essendon's goal.
Yeah, Ryan O'Connor, who was at centre-half forward, wasn't seeing much of the ball, and Kevin Sheedy has just interchanged his centre-half forward and centre-half back. So O'Connor now picking up Brendan Gale, who has had a pretty good half of football today.
Nash, Rich, Russo, bit of experience there in the umpiring trio tonight. Hurd tried to take it out of the air. Bauer, quick kick away, didn't really look, but just went for distance. Cockatoo-Collins with pace, gets to it, left foot kick, out on the full. So Richmond to relieve.
Great running and harassment there by Stuart Maxfield. That's what makes the Tiger combination a very good side, because they just all work very hard for each other.
Came from nowhere, didn't he? Just to put the pressure on. Gale, good take. That is a terrific mark. Plays on to the man in question in Maxfield. Runs his full measure, kicks to centre-half forward.
No one home, though. Reading it very nicely was Darcy. Just summing it up a second earlier than Jurica. Darcy's kick goes in short, long, good hands. Away to Joe Mercedes. Mercedes kick to half forward, and another mark taken by James Hurd. They've got to make a change. Prescott just being tipped upside down there by James Hurd. Top effort by Bulluss to provide the contest. Away to Callaway. Tigers can go down the ground here. If the ball sits for Bauer, Michael Long is the chaser. Bauer's little left foot kick. In front of Neal. Can control it. Chipping in long. Handball. Mercedes caught. And blatantly caught. No free kick. Kick forward by Bauer. Into the pocket. Gatherers by Jurica. Just loses his footing, but able to get up quickly. Throws it onto his boot and scores the goal of the night so far. Stephen Jurica. 3 goals, but that was sensational.
You can almost hear the chant coming, Robbo. A bit similar to that fellow when he struck goal. Jurica! Have a look at this. This was just great presence of mind to get up. He could see that Darcy had gone to ground also. And a pretty nice little bit of finish there.
Modra type goal, in a way, when Modra was really firing.
Exactly.
3 to Jurica. 7-4, 9-2. 10 points again. Charles in the ruck, Somerville a bit too easy. Denham attacks to full forward. HIRD underneath it, Salmon whipped away from it. Gets a free kick.
We'll have the customary 5 minutes here. I'm just not sure about my Australian history. Did the fellow yell Jurica when it was goal, or when he struck goal? I think it was to do with something else.
Well, Calthorpe and Bulluss. Bulluss unhappy, as well he might. And Salmon to kick from about 25 to 30 metres out. Snuck it through. Well, again, Calthorpe and Bulluss. It's 10-2-7-4. Michael Gale just getting Paul Bulluss to quieten it a bit. Okay, Gerard, we're going to have a look at it here. Denham going into attack.
Hasn't had as big a presence this quarter, Denham, but you can just see there Paul Bulluss pulling Paul Salmon away from the football. It's a real fist fight, goal for goal.
Well, probably the goal that the Tigers didn't need Essendon to get, but it's still only underneath a 3-goal margin. Brendon, Gale and O'Connor. Brendon Gale couldn't quite control it. Daffy does nicely. Little kick by Nick Daffy, that's better. Charles runs from half forward, gets back onto his left foot. Not a bad kick either to full forward. Jurica. Ball spills. Naish should have to mop this up, wouldn't he? Loves this. Chris Naish. It's gone through. No, it's hit the post. Gee, Mark Neal was keen on it. But Naish, the kick perhaps just not quite getting the distance that Naish would have preferred.
Need a couple more out of Nation, Daffy, don't they, Gerard? They've just squeezed one out of the pair. Probably need about 6 out of the 2 tonight to be a real chance, you'd think.
Yeah, it looked to be one of their strengths coming into the night. Hasn't eventuated, but such is a position they can kick 3 in 3 minutes.
Darcy, kick out to Harwick under pressure. Out of play. 7-5, 10-2 the score here. Equal number of shots, 47 to 62. There's the interchange with Jamie Elliott there now. And Greg Deere, most experienced player for the Tigers. Rogers to full forward. Jurica's got it! Oh, he's a beauty, this fellow, Gerard. 19 years of age.
Just have a look at the strength, but not just the strength, presence of mind once again. That's twice in 5 minutes as he showed maturity above his years, beyond his years. He'll go back and slot this. Bring us back into another pretty tight competitive game. 3
goals to Gerard. Isn't it a great moment in the game when suddenly a player from nowhere emerges, and he has in the last fortnight? Everybody will know about Stephen Jurica this weekend. He is an AFL footballer.
I get a feeling, Robbo, we might see him on Monday Night Football sometime in the near future.
Well, when you're talking footy, you're going to be talking Jurica. I hope he doesn't let us down from here or the Tigers. It's 7-5 to 10-2. He's got his 4th. He's a big strapping colt, isn't he, this fellow? And the Tigers are 8-5 to 10-2.
Well, once again, I'll just reiterate, the Tiger hierarchy must be just rubbing their hands with glee, because whilst they're perhaps just a year or 2 away from the best they can get out of this group of players, they just keep producing these outstanding tall forwards. And if this guy can continue on with this form, they've got another one.
So play restarted. Charles and Salmon. Campbell couldn't get past. Denham gets a chance now. Grenvold, left foot kick, not bad. O'Connor plays on quickly, kicks to full forward. Each time the Tigers look threatening, Essendon have been able to go back and get one. Looks like they do it again. James Hird's kick slews across the face of goal. Out of bounds in that forward pocket.
He's always in the contest, isn't he? If he plays in front, you're going to get every ball that comes in low. And you can also, if the ball goes behind you, still run onto it.
Somerville in front, Michael Gale, big fist to it. And again, the boundary umpire to come into play there in that left forward pocket for Essendon. This time it's about 35 to 40 metres from the Essendon goal. 6 minutes left. Essendon by 9 points.
Matthew Dundas running all the way now with O'Donnell.
Somerville, ball comes down to Bond. He's tackled there by Wanganeen. And Wanganeen, 2 kicks and 1 handball. So Bond doing his work efficiently, as usual. And Dundas and O'Donnell not giving the umpire much of a chance there to bounce the ball.
Yeah, the taggers are having a bit of an effect here. Morgan's had Broderick shifted to a forward pocket, and Wayne Campbell hasn't done too much tonight either on Denham.
Long, that hand pass, attempted hand pass, may prove costly. Daffy, Neald has got it. Swings around onto his right foot and then kicks it long towards full forward. Good mark, excellent mark taken by O'Connor between centre half back and full back. That looked promising, that Tiger build-up.
10-2-8-5. Jurica with 4 and HIRD with 3. Goes wide, O'Connor, good take there by Charles. Salmon on the ball. Charles in the centre square. Gets good distance. Jurica coming from nowhere.
Well, I tell you what, he had his fair share of it, but the umpire was correct. He had to pay the man in front.
And he's a good man in front too, isn't he, Symons?
And if you want the bad news, Bruce, about Jurica, I've just double-checked. He is from Western Australia.
Symons goes out wide to Salmon. 62-53. So the big fish having a run. Goes to O'Connor, runs onto it well. O'Connor just the defensive side of centre wing. Picks out HIRD. He gets Carey-type stats, doesn't he, HIRD, across half-forward. Midfielders would be pleased with all of them. Kellaway went from the back. Ball came to ground. Good tackle again by the Tigers. Left-hand handball, a good one. Somerville's handball. Cockatoo-Collins. Calthorpe will get it. Tucked away in the pocket. You know he'll run around. He'll wait for the right moment. Has kicked a goal and now improves the angle and misses it. Hits the post. So David Calthorpe with the goal and the behind in this term. And the Bombers are 10-3 and the Tigers are 8-5.
Wayne Campbell with 3 3/4 minutes left in the first half. His stats, 6 kicks, no hand passes, 4 tackles provided. Charles from behind provides a good contest, gets the ball down, but it's Wanganeen. Little kicker towards half forward, and the mark taken by Salmon. Salmon is 50 metres from goal. Again, the preparation by Paul Salmon, very professional. Very straight approach. Gets close to the man on the mark and accordingly kicks it high in the air. It'll land in the square, knocked away for a rush behind to Essendon. So the margin now, 11 points. It's been an 11-point margin on probably 5 or 6 occasions in this first half. Each time Richmond have made a bit of a charge. The Bombers have been able to steady. The kick in towards the members' half-back flank area, mark is taken by Charles.
Unopposed. Gets it away to Kellaway, breaks the tackle of Danaher, under pressure out wide, chance here for Naish, must take it cleanly and get it cleared, couldn't, but then banged it on, but Richmond lost the chance because they had a loose man created, long, beautiful, did it superbly, to Grenville, to half forward, HIRD caught out of position, well played Prescott, hasn't beaten HIRD too often tonight, that one he certainly did, so Richmond missed a chance there. Prescott's kicked to centre wing, Campbell and Danaher. Morgan was there, Danaher, well played. Back turn, then a high ball. HIRD underneath it, he's got it. Plays on quickly, Calthorpe breaks the tackle, charges towards goal, Somerville sits, waits, good courageous play by Gale, gets back, sidestep, swings a handball to Bauer. Daffy's got to work for him now, Bauer kicks it to Daffy. Daffy and Grenville, important ball. Daffy tries to get rid of Grenville, plays it on in front, must go off the ground, does. Caught up there Naish by Hardwick and the Bombers will come away. Hardwick to half forward, Gale should take this comfortably and he does it half back. plays on quickly, gets to Charles, loose man created, runs away, lopes into the centre square, kicks it to centre half forward, Gale, Salmon back.
And well done. The Bombers across half back have done on a couple of occasions, outnumbered. Salmon on this occasion provided the extra man. His short kick has been marked by Chris Danaher. Danaher doing a good job. He's kicked a half forward, another safe chest mark taken by James Hird. And again, if he wanted to give it a rip, he'd be a chance. No, he goes for the pass. It's not bad. Somerville just not able to grasp it. Chance for Cockatoo-Collins. Ball touched. If it wasn't, it hit the post anyway. And Duncan Callaway breathes a sigh of relief. A behind kick by Shea Cockatoo-Collins. 2 goals, 1 to that player. Leading goal kicker for Essendon is James Hird, who's kicked 3. Leading goal kicker for Richmond is Stephen Jurica, who has kicked 4 pretty handy ones.
Campbell goes for distance. Charles again the target. Young Lloyd on the ground. Broderick, tape, had to sit and wait, then dropped it. Got it back, tried to get it out to Callaway. So Lloyd on for Essendon. Number 18, there's Danaher picking himself up. Played a lot of seasons, not a lot of matches, a bit like Flood. Danaher 9 seasons for his 80 matches, but more in the last 3 years. Now Grenvold swings around, high ball to centre half forward. Rogers underneath, Cockatoo-Collins, bouncing ball, Bond. Well played, swung out well to Bauer, waited, tapped it, got it back, tried to get it to Daffy. Symons goes back to Rogers. Rogers bangs it to full forward. Gale and Jurica, Gale in the front spot. Well done, Hardwick. O'Connor, Morgan, little left foot is a beauty. Salmon's played this pretty well and gets it at half back and creates the loose man. Gets it on to Denham. Denham away. Hird will be the target. Hird at half forward and the siren sounds. And that's a good half of football, isn't it? A really good half with Essendon setting the agenda and Richmond responding for much of the first half. 10-5, 8-5, Gerard Healy.
Yes, they've played catch-up football for most of the half, the Tigers, but they've done it pretty well. As you said, Essendon have controlled the game to a certain extent. They certainly got away to a bit of a fly, 4 goals on the board before the Tigers settled. But I think they've done pretty well. Both sides, in fact, in front of goals have got, at one end you've got James Hird who's really killing them for the Bombers. At the other end you've got a kid who has emerged, as Bruce said, and isn't it exciting to see in Stephen Jurica, who's 4 goals to date. I think it's just an example of what is to come with him. But the Tigers need a couple of their midfielders to lift. I think Broderick's got a bit left in him. Wayne Campbell needs to get more of the football. But all in all, you'd have to say that the Tigers be pretty pleased with the way they, the Tigers would have to be pretty pleased with the way they're going, particularly when you think that there's the likes of Chris Nash and a number of their other smaller forwards who can perhaps just bob up with a goal. So all in all, a great half.
Good on you, Gerard. Half time here. It's 8-5 to 10-5. Essendon kicked the first 4 goals of the match, but there's something familiar about both quarters, isn't there? 5 goals to 4 in each of them, and at half-time, Essendon with a 2-goal break at 10 goals 5 to 8-5. So an exciting first half of football. This game could go either way, obviously. What about looking at some of the big news during the weekend? One story revolving around the umpiring. They copped a lot of criticism on the weekend. One criticism coming from a very unlikely source, the Chief Executive of the AFL Commission, Ross Oakley, who on radio in Melbourne during the week thought that one umpire, Chris Mitchell, had a pretty bad match.
Well, he was right in his assessment. He didn't have a good game. I read an article today saying he thought he had a bad couple of minutes. Well, I think it was a bit more extensive than that, and I thought he was responsible for creating this scene where Greg Williams really lets him know that he's made 2 very ordinary decisions. But what was unusual about Ross Oakley coming out is that it really did break from tradition. The umpires are usually a sacred cow. And I just wonder, Bruce, would he find himself?
Well, he might, and I wonder if Ian Collins might, but we haven't heard anything, have we? Now,
well, if it was a president of an AFL club, I'm sure they'd cop $2,000.
No doubt about that. No question about that. That would be a special.
One for talking.
I'll bet you $1 that Ross doesn't get fined $2,000. Do you think that Collingwood and North Melbourne will be fined over the Melees last Friday night?
I think they have to be. The AFL have made their bed regarding this, and they're going to have to deal with each situation. There's another one, I think they're going to hand down a decision about Fitzroy and Brisbane, but this one was, well, I think the difference with this one was that perhaps we thought it was premeditated. Lots of talk about it before the game.
Yes, they've both been asked to explain. Very briefly, did North have a case by retaliating against Collingwood, who initiated?
You're saying Collingwood started it?
Oh, well, there's no question.
Well,
don't you think?
I would think the retaliator should get a lesser fine.
Well, Ross Smith copped $1,000 for giving evidence that was described as misleading in the Dermot Brereton case at the tribunal.
Bit stiff for poor Ross, because he's done, I guess, what most players have done over the last 100 years of league football, and that's probably just have a selective amnesia on the night. But he's copped $1,000. I just wonder if they're going to give it to the umpires when they tell blowflies too, because there's plenty of that goes on.
Gee, Pert and Longmire situation, did you think this would go trial by video?
Well, I did at the time. I just... I was astounded that Gary Pert wasn't put up. In fact, I don't think it's the role of the faceless men that decide these issues, whether or not this bloke should have been guilty. There was enough evidence there for a prima facie case. It should have gone, in my view, to Neil Buzzy for a decision, not to be left to somebody at AFL House.
Where's Tony Modra at the moment? Could he go the same way as Warwick Kappa?
Well, I think that's perhaps the danger. Both players just rocketed to superstardom, and both very talented players, olive skin, blonde hair, but spectacular type of players. And I hope that the similarities end there, because Tony Modra, well, we need football needs Tony Modra, as do the Adelaide Crows. And football isn't the same without him taking his high-flying marks.
They dropped a few of the Crows this week, as we can see. Modra, Hall, Maynard, Wiedemann and Robin. A sellout in Brisbane on Sunday. Merritt still going strong at 35, and Rocker at 21 could be the keys. Merritt kicked 5 last week. Rocker's kicked a bag of goals in recent weeks.
Yes, and he's in outstanding form, Sav Rocker. He really is a player of the future, but... well, I think that Roger Merritt will have to kick a bag of goals for them to win, and for the sake of the rest of the season for Brisbane, I think that they really do need a big performance. So it was an encouraging display last week against Geelong, but they didn't get the points. But this is the bloke that they're going to have to stop, because their midfield, Collingwood, is pretty good, and when you've got a guy on the end of all of those kicks who can kick plenty of goals from outside 50, then they're going to be tough.
Footscray go back to Subiaco to play West Coast. The last time they were there, I was in Rome, actually, for the World Swimming Championships.
Well, look what you missed. And let's hope there's no more of this over at Subi. But I guess the West Coast haven't been with us too long, and I'm sure that perhaps a traditional grudge match may have been born last year. Let's hope it's played in the right spirit, but nice and tough.
It's going to be a good game, that one. We'll take a break. Back with more from the Melbourne Cricket Ground shortly.
Well, a pretty interesting game here at half-time. Richmond kicking 4 goals in the first term, Essendon 5, and similarly in the second term, the Bombers with 5 goals to Richmond's 4. And Gerard, just 12 points in it. I mean, at certain stages, I think you and Bruce maybe thought that Essendon were going to go away with it, but the Tigers have got terrific spirit, haven't they?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. In fact, unlike last week where I thought the Tigers would never get up, I just think at the moment they're a real chance to win this game, and Essendon, I think, haven't crunched them when they had the opportunity. But you're right, the spirit of the Tiger is well and truly buoyant, and they're going to be a tough mob to get over for Essendon. They've got their work cut out.
Would you personally go and rev Chris Naish up? I mean, he is a goal kicker. He's yet to kick a goal in this game.
Yeah, it'd be tough to know what to do with Chris Naish because of the tragedy that he has had to cope with in the last couple of weeks. Perhaps he just needs to be left alone. It's a tough one, and I think I'll leave to John Northey that one. But I think their big problem is James Hird. They've got to find a way of stopping him, either by restricting his supply or by either giving a rocket to Prescott, who's just given him a little bit of latitude, given that he's playing on an outstanding player. But I still think that Duncan Callaway, I've seen him just scrag and tag blokes and bring them down to an ordinary level.
What about this guy we're going to have a look at now, Stephen Jurica? He's been quite refreshing, and just 19 years of age on this occasion. A good contest with Tim Darcy, who's a much more experienced player. Took the mark and just failed to capitalise, but he's been exciting, hasn't he, in the first half?
Look, I've seen him the last 2 weeks, which has been a pleasure for us. Because as Bruce mentioned during the call, it's great to see a young bloke coming through. He actually looks like a little bit of a junior Neil Baum, comes from Western Australia, And look, he could be a plus for Richmond for 10 years on what we've seen to date.
Well, I saw him play last year in London, and let's hope he can go on with it in the second half. James Hird has had, you mentioned, a pretty good battle, but he's on top at this stage of Prescott.
Well, he is. He's such a multi-skilled player, whether the ball's in the air or on the ground, and often he doesn't make too many mistakes. You just saw him casually kick the ball round the corner, and all good players in any sport make it look easy. That's a pretty tough kick, that one.
Yeah, when they were setting this game up, the Tigers, obviously a problem for them was always going to be Paul Salmon. The height. Bulluss has gone back there. Maybe they're missing out. Bulluss back at centre-half back would have been an advantage.
Yeah, I think their height in defence has been a problem for them, particularly with the injury to Stuart Wigney. But there's no doubt about this free kick. From what I saw on the replay, he definitely scragged him. He may have been retaliating to Paul Salmon, giving him a bit of a nudge, but the umpire was, I thought, in the right.
Fair enough. I think across that half-back line and across the centre line, you can see Essendon setting things up. They're kicking, they're hand-passing, just a little bit more purposeful than the Tigers. The Tigers having to bomb away, which makes the job of the key forwards just that little bit more difficult.
Yeah, probably just a contrasting style here. John Northey is a bit of the Tom Hafey school that likes getting the ball long to the forwards with long kicks and as few kicks as possible. Whereas the Bombers, as we spoke during the call, the linchpin of their game is pinpoint passing, and they just have a bit of a basketball type of approach, poking it around, looking for an opening, and many times it's pretty successful.
Well, I don't think there'll be much in this game, so stay tuned. After the break, we'll have more football on Friday night.
Both teams back on the ground after half-time, and Essendon lead Richmond by a couple of goals. Robert DiPierdomenico, the big dipper down on the boundary line, the first 10 minutes. Dipper, how vital for the Tigers?
Very, very important, Bruce. And obviously they were here last Sunday and put in a good effort against Carlton, and they've only had, 5 days rest. And we know throughout the week they've had a light training run. But now the spirit is certainly there for the Tigers. And I know Robbo and I got our monies on the Tigers. Are you still going with the Bombers there, Bruce?
Well, I think that Richmond have got a good outsider's chance. If you're betting right now, obviously Essendon started as favourites, Dip, and they'd still be favourites, but I think Richmond are in with a chance for sure.
They certainly are, Bruce, and everybody's talking about this Jurica around the members. People are asking me where he's from and whatever. Exciting player, isn't he?
He sure is. The emergence of a young talent. It's great for the game.
Prescott back onto Hird. John Northey showing pretty good faith in him. He's done the job for him in the last few weeks, so why not?
Start of the second half, Friday night football, big crowd at the MCG, big match, and the Tigers are a couple behind the Bombers. It was an excellent first half of football. Essendon will go to the right of screen. O'Donnell out of the centre, gets his hands on it now. Handball was pretty good. Free kick coming back to Richmond, to Dundas.
Denham's gone on to Campbell.
Dundas playing as a tagger to Maxfield. Maxfield is a long kick. Would love to have been able to run on because he would have been able to get the distance without any worry at all. Goes short and beautifully gets to Gale.
That was well done, actually. Both those big boys were back in the square when Maxfield took the mark, and Brendon Gale summed that up nicely. Very good lead and a neat kick by Maxfield. Gale will kick from 35 metres.
He's only kicked one goal, Robbo, in the last 2 matches he's played. It's important with no Richardson and no Edwards. I know Jurica's there, but they've got to get a couple out of Gale, don't they?
My word.
So big kick here, remembering that Essendon kicked the first 4 goals of the game. So they jumped the Tigers, and that was what could not happen in the second half from Richmond's point of view. He's got it. That's a terrific goal. It is just what John Northey would have asked for at half-time. Get the first one, fellows, and we're right back to square one. It's 9-5 to 10-5.
Yeah, probably the best game that I've seen Brendon Gale play this year anyway. I'm not sure who tossed the coin, but I just got a feeling that Brendon Gale perhaps is captain tonight, so that being the case, he is leading from the front.
Important player, Brendon Gale, in the make-up of the Richmond side. Morgan gets the ball out of the centre. That mark not paid to young Lloyd. Hand pass came out to Gale. Gale, that's Michael, to half forward. Brendon providing a Little bit of a shepherd there for Daffy, but he's unable to control it. Defenders for Essendon, O'Connor and Grenvold. Boundary throw in left half forward for the Tigers. Somerville and Charles. Somerville gets rid of Charles. Down to Dundas, back to Daffy. Daffy's torpedoed wobbling punt kick to half forward. Here's another goal. Brendan Gale goes in and he gets it. His second, scores level.
He is the captain tonight, so that's a great start by the skip after half-time.
Outstanding and good start by the Tigers, obviously, but just have a look at the hands of Jurica. He knew he wasn't going to quite get it, but he could see that Gale was there, and whilst he probably didn't have any impact on the ball, he's got a football brain, that young bloke.
Well, this is the closest they've been since the start of the match. 10-5 apiece. They've trailed all night, the Tigers. Could they put their nose in front? O'Donnell out of the centre to centre half forward. Prescott did well to get rid of Hurd then. He just worked him under. Richmond from half back. O'Donnell and Dundas onto it. Good take by Symons. Had an outstanding first half. Denham outstanding first quarter. To centre half forward. Hurd trying a one-hander. Gets back on top. Handball terrific. Cockatoo-Collins cleverly. Calthorpe onto it. Little left footer. Can't quite get it away. But Essendon back in front by a measly point. It's a free kick here, I think. What's gone on here? It's left, right and centre.
Dumped off the ball.
Richmond player down.
Michael Gale.
Well, Gale was having words in the first half. There's a lot more than 6 players involved in all of this, by the way.
He's out cold, by the way, Michael Gale.
Yeah.
Umpire just giving the signal, and he's calling for the stretcher.
Well, now I'm not sure whether the umpire noticed who was involved there, but Richmond have got a free kick. I think the game is going on. Charles has got the footy, so Richmond have got a 50-metre penalty and a free kick, so it was no score given there. Scores are level, and high drama at the Melbourne Cricket Ground again on a Friday night. Michael Gale sitting up. Young Lloyd is off the ground.
Look at that cut there. We'll have to come straight off.
Chris Bradshaw out there, the doctor, with Michael Gale.
I'm sure Chris would be just asking Michael Gale to add up 2 and 2, or if he knew exactly where he was, just to see if he was concussed.
Well, he's got to come off, obviously, for the blood rule. Look at this at half forward. So a good test here for the umpiring, which was criticised last weekend. Control must be quickly taken here by the umpires. Gale coming off the ground. Young Tawney coming on. Another free kick to Richmond. So Tawney comes on. Look at Gale. That's a shocking sight, isn't it? And Naish gets a free. Scores level at the MCG. And Richmond with a bit of force behind them. Naish pops it up. Jurica and Gale. It comes to ground. Cockatoo-Collins, good tackle. He's gone. Free kick, Jurica. Tigers are going to be in front for the first time tonight, because he will score one way or the other. Anyone see what happened at the other end?
I didn't.
Well, I saw an Essendon player have a go at Michael Gale, but I wouldn't like to finger him.
Well, now the scoreboard shows 10-6, 10-5. Was that point registered? I doubt it. I think
You talk about the rush point when the free kick was given for Gale being knocked down.
Perhaps this is giving us an indication of what may have happened down the other end.
so. Jurica to go for goal, and we will double check the score. The big scoreboard says 10-6, 10-5. Maybe that rush behind was given, though they did get a free kick, Richmond, from the Gale incident, which happened before the point was registered. Jurica's kick, he's kicked his 5th. Tigers in front for the first time tonight. Emergency umpire out there. This game is an explosion point. Now, they'll get an idea here. Calthorpe going for it. Now, Gale after him, goes to ground. And, well, that was inconclusive. We're going to call it 11-5 to 10-6 at the moment. That's what the big scoreboard's got.
So Jurica, 5th goal, has given the Tigers the lead. Broderick, handball wide, Bauer. Bauer, quick kick to half forward, bounce all important. Cummings made it his. Gathers, then kicks off the left foot, gets 45 metres, down towards half forward. Away goes Tate. Nearly content there to knock it over. Charles well tackled by O'Connor. Still a contest. Oh, look at him go in now. Oh, gee whiz, there's no messing around out there. And a free kick to Essendon. Left half forward, Cockatoo-Collins. Plays on. Sweeps around onto the right foot. Kicks in towards half foot. Well done. Terrific stuff by Galloway. Getting back, takes the mark. His kick is in short. Goes straight through Symons. Prescott. Kick wide out towards the wing. Not bad either. Out in front of Daffy. Gave him the chance to run without changing stride. That's a good kick too. Young Tawny's into the action. Well done. What a number he's wearing. Kevin Bartlett, 29. The kick to full forward. Goes to the back. Dundas. What can he do? He can miss everything. And it goes across for a boundary throw in left forward pocket for Richmond. Matthew Dundas playing his first senior game for quite a while for the Tigers. Certainly this year it's his first match. Boundary throw in. Cummings, Brendon, Gale, Somerville. Ball spills. And a good contest there. The umpire says it's even Stevens. He'll bounce. Only 20 metres out from Richmond's goal.
They've kicked all 3 goals in this term. Gale with 2, that's Brendon. His brother's off the ground with a bleeding head. Maxfield just panicked there. He really could have done better. And the other goal to Jurica. So Maxfield with a goal. And that one out of bounds on the 4. 11-5, 10-6. Big crowd, over 70,000. Richmond 3rd on the table. Their MCG record this year is 6 out of 9. Essendon's 4 with a draw out of 8. Here's O'Donnell from the back pocket. Keeps it close to the boundary line. Somerville, good strong mark. He might have hurt himself too here, Hammy.
It might be the knee, Bruce.
He went to clutch for the hamstring. Just gives it away to Symons. Symons works off half back to centre wing. Kellaway goes to ground. Danaher was going to give it to Hardwick, or Morgan I should say. Goes long. Good play at the back by Prescott. Caught though. He's gone. He had to get it away.
Yeah, he's pretty stiff there, Prescott, because he all but took the mark there. In fact, I thought the umpire who was behind him was going to pay it. The ball just appeared to bobble up and touch the ground.
Well, that's where he made the error, didn't he, Gerard? When he had the chance to just push it out. And by the way, Somerville looks to be all right. So Michael Gale getting ready to come back on. HIRD, without doubt, the outstanding forward for Essendon in the opening half. His best haul this year is 4 goals in a match, and he's kicked his 4th tonight. Four goals straight.
Well, that does really hurt for Prescott, because he well, he could have even been paid the mark. It was close. And let's have another look at it. No, it definitely hit the ground. But as you said, that should have been knocked out. He did. But no one to give it to. And James HIRD's finishing skills make it hurt even more.
Another beautiful kick to register James HIRD's 4th goal. Kick forward for the Tigers. It breaks down. Chris Danaher. He's playing a pretty good game too. Chris Danaher in a tagging role, but getting a few kicks himself. At the back, O'Connor. Bauer. Can't break clear. In goes O'Connor again. Broderick. Little hand pass. Morgan read it beautifully. Hand pass for Masidi. Not all that good. Bauer in the action again. Back goes Masidi. Oh, tackle on Dundas. Too high, was it? And Dundas has the free kick for Richmond in the right half-back flank region.
Tapes off the ground for Richmond. Gale went on to replace him. He also looks injured. Perhaps Dipper will let us know.
Oh, good mark taken by Brendon Gale. That's his 7th mark. He's had 12 possessions, kicked 2 goals, both coming in this 3rd quarter. Short kick, finds Rogers. Rogers in the centre of the ground. Who's he kicked to? Stephen Jurica. Can't take the mark. Ball comes to ground. Somerville knocks it over. The Richmond fans searching for a free kick. Not forthcoming. Boundary throw in. And Dipper's got a boundary line report.
Yeah, Robbo, as Bruce said, Michael Gale is back on the ground, which is good. And Jamie Tate just come off the ground, looks like with a back injury.
Well, that'll be a blow. Thanks for that, Dip. Tawney round the body, and that touched as it left the boot, so that's a good result for Richmond, because a throw into this. Tate, go on, Gerard, you say it, being what?
Well, he's being taped, I think.
Thanks for that.
Bush, yeah.
I'll write it down next time. Grenvold, Nash with him. It'll be another bounce.
Concentrate on the footy.
11-5, 11-6, why not? Grenvold gives the footy up again. Tigers deep in attack, it's been their term. We saw a magnificent third quarter here on Sunday, and we've seen a sensational third quarter so far tonight. Denham comes away, he kept it low. Well done, Dundas. He got in front of O'Donnell and pushed it to the line.
What about Somerville's tap out from that bounce? Was fantastic.
Yes, and not a bad tap out that one either by Dundas, who's not just fighting for this game, he's also fighting for his future at Richmond.
Tawney couldn't get rid of the ball. Chris Danaher into the action again. Ball comes towards Neil. He can't take it away. And the umpire will bounce 50 metres from Richmond's goal. There could be a little bit of controversy over the scoreline. We quite wonder whether the behind that was rushed for Essendon as Michael Gale went down has been credited to Essendon. We'll watch at three-quarter time. There's a free kick out of the ruck contest.
Fell over.
It will go to Essendon. Somerville. Hand pass back. Hardwick. Running through centre-half back. Gee, good running provided here by Darcy. Run down Cockatoo-Collins. The tackle by Bond was perfect. Rogers. Tawney. Bauer. But Long was good. Long was terrific to Cockatoo-Collins. Not quite handling it, but he's able to get clear. Off the right foot. The mark is taken by Bulluss in the right back pocket for Richmond. The heat's on at the MCG. A terrific game of football. Campbell across his left shoulder. The direction is not quite there. Wanganeen's either taken the mark or it's out on the full. And Wanganeen, not a popular boy with Richmond supporters. Mercedes left foot kick towards half forward. Not clear by Rogers. And boundary throw in. Left half forward for Essendon. Matthew Rogers in the picture there. Big job to contain Shea Cockatoo-Collins.
O'Connor and Gale, that's Michael Gale. O'Connor tried to take it out of the air, did it well to Denham. Held up, under pressure. Michael Gale goes to ground, cut off beautifully by Mercedes. Little wonder HIRD, he's got him. Bad luck, the Tides, but well played, Mercedes. What is the score, Deborah? What's the score?
The score at the moment is Richmond 11-5, 71 to 11-6, 72 Essendon's way. The rush point was scored.
Thank you for that. That's important. So there is a point the difference. Essendon in front now. HIRD, who hasn't kicked 5 goals in a match this season. And we've already talked about his qualities in a situation like this, but he's pushed that one a bit and missed. So Richmond breathe strongly after that. 11-7, 11-5. Only 2 points the difference. Bulluss to bring it back in. Next goal pretty important here because Richmond made a rush. Got a lead. Essendon have come back. There's been a big blue, plenty of emotion spent, a lot of energy sapped out of the two teams. And a goal either way can be a big swing because if Essendon can pinch an 8-point break, it'll be handy. The Tigers have got to be right with them, you'd think, at three-quarter time.
Yes, the centre breaks there. Richmond have had the advantage there with 10.5 minutes left in the third term. The ball at right half forward for Essendon. A contest here. Denham, hand pass. Now free kick is off the ball. The shepherd by O'Connor, a little too fierce on Campbell. O'Connor not happy. The umpire was in a good position there to set that up. We have another look there. It was perhaps a little high. Tigers go forward. Rogers, good kick. Brendan Gale, that could be nearly 50 metres, couldn't it? I would have thought so, yes. Clean mark to Brendan Gale. Cummings arrives late. And the umpire takes control. Cummings will go back nearly to the square. This could be Brendan Gale's third goal for the quarter.
James HIRD going deep into defence now.
And another look at this, Gerard.
Yeah, well, I agree with you, Robert. I think it was just a little bit late. I'm not sure it was worthy of 50, but they're the rules.
Well, it was brought in to stop that time wasting by a player marking and being thrown to the ground.
And not to give free shots a goal like this.
So Gale being asked to move around. I suggest here he's in line with the middle of the right behinds. Not the middle of the goals. Richmond fans screaming a little bit, but Brendan Gale really should kick this. He's going to be only about 20 metres out when he kicks. Goes for it, and he gets it. Brendan Gale has now kicked 3 goals, and his game has certainly done him proud, particularly this third quarter. 9 kicks, 5 handballs and 3 goals.
And just have a look at this pretty good play here. Getting the ball out in front. Matthew Dundas doing some good running there, just ready for the crumbs, but it wasn't required. And then a pretty sloppy push in the back there from Scott Cummings just set him up for a certain goal.
Gale, 3 goals in this term. Kevin Sheedy looking on. He kicked the first 4 goals, or his team did tonight. So since then, Richmond have kicked 12-7. It's a fair margin, isn't it? Through the centre, Neild held up. He's gone, holding the footy. Strong tackle by Hardwick. It was a hot ball in the centre there. Hardwick, the centre half forward. HIRD got a little shove. They get back to gang on him. Good take by Cockatoo-Collins. Now, what's happened here? Throw. So coming back to Prescott. Notice a moment ago, Gerard, that O'Donnell ran about 100 metres to have a long talk to Ryan O'Connor in the goal square and really point something out to him. Was when Gale was getting set to kick the goal. Here's Kellaway at half-back. Pushes it wide. Gale having a big third quarter. 3 goals and taking marks. Kicks 2 centre half forward. His position chance for Broderick. Ball over the back. No one down. Tawney should have been waiting maybe, but it's in his first game. Bond looks for a free kick. Didn't quite get it. Clever Broderick. Naish, he's had a bad night. Then holds up his opponent, and it'll be a ball up. So Richmond keep it there within 40 metres. Every time they go forward now, they look dangerous, the Tigers. It wasn't the case in the opening half. Not a good bounce. Campbell tried to take it away, then look for a free kick. Essendon on top of it. And again now tape, look at that.
Extraordinary lengths we go to for the blood rule.
Keep him back on the ground, well.
It's Rogers.
Was it Rogers, sorry? Oh, the tape on Rogers.
Yeah.
Thank you. Tape's been taped on the boundary line. That was his ribs. I thought it was a quick transposition. There's Naish round the body. This is close. It's going. It's there.
I think that's what Richmond have been looking for. Chris Naish, he's a goal kicker, Gerard, isn't he? And we mentioned at half-time, just struggling a little bit because of maybe personal things, but gee, that's great to see him get in and get that goal.
Yeah, and Cummings paying the price. Off he comes, replaced by David Flood, but good work there. Great hands getting that ball to the young player in Naish. Justin Charles has been a good find for Richmond. Just doing the job, relieving Greg Deere as he's done all quarter.
Well, terrific performance by both sides, but Richmond having a real go now at the Bombers. Campbell can't get rid of the ball. Spills for Tawney. Tawney's kicked to full forward. Nearly marked by Darcy. In goes Jurica and Grenvold, and the ball held up only 35 metres from Richmond's goal. The Tigers lead. They've kicked 13-5. Essendon 11-7. So back out now to 10 points.
In this quarter, 5-1 in Richmond's favour.
Well, they started well, didn't they? Early in this quarter, they kicked the first couple of goals. Got the lead. Essendon came back through James HIRD. There's a free kick awarded to Essendon at centre half back. To Denham. Goes away from that area. 2 bounces. Trying to set it up. Then the kick. Out towards the wing. Looking for Cockatoo-Collins over the top. Rogers interferes with the Essendon player. and Cockatoo-Collins takes the free kick, gets the handball to Mercedes, gets past Rogers, down the ground he goes to half forward, and James HIRD has taken another mark, which is his 11th. Swings onto his right foot, kicks towards full forward, out in front O'Connor, and he could make amends for that indiscretion earlier in the third term by kicking a goal here for Essendon. Another youngster on this ground.
Brian Wood, the Essendon runner, is working overtime out there, throwing the changes around. Richmond persists with a loose man in defence. It's now Mark Neild, who started in the forward pocket but didn't see much of the leather.
Study of concentration. Ryan O'Connor from 30 metres. Oh, very ordinary kick by O'Connor.
I think back, Robert, they've missed a few Essendon. I know the scoreboard looks reasonable, 11-8, but Salmon missed a couple, didn't he, early on?
Back to 9 points, the kick in. Kellaway from behind, got 2 grabs at it. Campbell dispossessed by Chris Danaher. In goes HIRD, Prescott and Charles, and the umpire will bounce. Right half forward for Essendon, about 65 metres from their goal. We've got 6.5 minutes left in the third term.
James HIRD, the outstanding forward, 11 marks and 13 kicks and 4 handballs, and 4 goals tonight. Campbell, Naish, was that a throw? Oh gee, if it was, it's been called one, and the umpire was in the right spot. Had to do better than that if indeed he did throw the footy, and as I said, the umpire was just perfectly positioned. Now the free kick to Wanganeen. We'll get a boo here. Salmon the target. Richmond getting back very quickly in numbers. There's Naish. Quick kick away, almost a centre wing. Gale got a fair fist of it, not paid. Mercedes, little one in the pocket. HIRD, oh, well played by Kellaway. He's a beauty, that Kellaway. His tackle on Wanganeen earlier tonight was out of the textbook, the way he ran him down and threw himself at him. So Salmon in the pocket, gets himself set with Bulluss. Tigers in front by 9 points. Somerville over the top. O'Donnell, Denham to kick the goal on the left. Brings it back. It's close. Looks like he's got it. His second. And Essendon tighten it up again.
It's a great game, this one, Bruce. We've seen 2 in a week with the Tigers. They just failed at the death knock last week against the Blues, but tonight they've come out. They really appear to have set themselves, and they've challenged Essendon. But to Essendon's credit, through Sean Denham, who's had a pretty good game, they're fighting back. They're not going to lie down.
83 plays 80. Terrific contest. Campbell goes in. Attempted kick off the ground by Charles. Flood, Symons. Flood again. Just gets his right foot to it. Well done there by Kellaway again. Wanganeen, well, a little bit of a misunderstanding there. Michael Gale, handball, that was a good one. That was well played. Kellaway kicks out towards the wing. Gale, Brendon, got a chance. Get rid of it quick because you'll be penalised. Grenvold along the ground to Calthorpe. Tackled by Charles. Yes, they're going to get a kick. They were a little fortunate, maybe, the Tigers. But that third umpire, by gee, once they get used to it more and more, the umpires, you see them getting into better and better positions to make decisions like that.
And tackling's been the difference between the sides tonight in favour of the Tigers.
Charles went short, found Naish. Naish to centre half forward. Oh, what a mark! Magnificent aerial work by Symons at centre half back for Essendon. He's cut the fingers, or the ends of those fingers, out of the gloves.
Just on the right hand.
Short kick finds Somerville.
Goes wide. Was looking for Denham. Not a good kick by Somerville. Campbell should be able to get around here. Handball looked good to Tawney. Tawney back and back again. Then quickly kicks. Didn't use Campbell. Probably should have. Bauer outnumbered. He did well though, Bauer. Actually just stood his ground and then made a real fist of it. I say he did well. He did well in the contest for the mark. Symons gingerly picks himself up. He's an important player. See Bauer here. He just kept his eye on it, and the other two flew early, Long and Symons. Then Bauer just made a meal of it. Back in general play. Essendon come out of the half-back line and get it to the centre wing. Out of play. The score here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. is 13-5 Richmond, Essendon 12-8. O'Connor now on the interchange.
Saw Nathan Bauer being swamped there. There's Symons, who's still recovering from that that fly and heavy landing. But Bauer doing a good job on Michael Long all night.
Well done by Campbell. Got it to Naish. Kick towards half forward, punched away by the Essendon defence. Morgan. Gee whiz, that was good play by a young player, only in about his third game. Denham along the boundary line. And not too bad there by Sean Denham. Under a bit of pressure, his stats aren't too bad either. 13 kicks, 9 handballs, 2 goals, and Greg Deere, he's been on the bench for a long time, preparing to get back into the fray. Masidi and Neal. Well, unlikely looking ruck combatants, aren't they, at a boundary throw-in? Ball comes to Calthorpe. Handball, pretty good. Morgan, Broderick the tackler. Neal goes in, gets the hand pass away. Back goes Hardwick. Tackled by Tawney, well done. That was good, dispossessed the Essendon player. Broderick the crummer, towards full forward, excellent mark, Jurica. Handball, no! I didn't see that, did I? Oh,
you got away with it because the
Jurica. Oh, you'd be shaking in your boots if you were Swooper, wouldn't you?
Well, he's going to get away with it because the umpire called, had whistled time on. So a little bit fortunate for the young bloke, and he's smiling about it.
Broderick, just the trainers, the neck area maybe. But Jurica, he's kicked 5 goals, and this could be his 6th goal in a game that has been quite tight for most of the night. He could give Richmond just that little bit more of an advantage coming into three-quarter time.
Gerard mentioned earlier tonight, bad luck, he's a West Australian. He was referring to State of Origin and had his Chairman of Selectors hat on.
Yeah, good stuff. Looking for young talent. Just a teenager still, Stephen Jurica. From 20 metres, it's pretty tight. I think it's a goal. No, it's not. 5 goals for 3. A bit of an anticlimax there. Disappointed with himself, but there'll be more opportunities.
Brian Wood, interestingly, you just saw him there go up to Tim Darcy, either instructing him on a move or, in fact, maybe a set play.
Darcy's kick was good, got to Flood at half-back. Somerville provides the lead. He's going to kick it to him and gets him. Well done, Daffy, actually, not to interfere. Somerville's handball okay to Danaher. Oh, he got around Gale a bit too easily. Then hugs the half-forward line. Hurd worked under it. Bond getting back with Wanganeen. He'll run it to the boundary line, Bondi. Out of play. It's been a tremendous third quarter of football. Richmond have advanced from 8-5 to 13-6. Essendon from 10-5 to 12-8. This is 3 versus 5 on the ladder. Remember, the top 4 all important at the end of the season. And Richmond, if they can win this, will take some stopping in that top 4. O'Donnell back to Masidi at about 55. Clever centering kick. Salmon the target. It goes to ground. And Richmond in their bow. It's got to get rid of it. He does. Gets it away. But look, Long's after it. This is danger. He is normally so constructive. Has to run around the footy a bit. Then sizes it up. Swings it back, hoping that Salmon can take a big one. Kellaway came in. Danaher looked for one. Calthorpe. Still Calthorpe. Still Calthorpe. High one. Round the body. Close. Won't be there. Bower away. It's exciting stuff here. 13-6 to 12-8.
You were trying to squeeze a couple more centimetres out of that, Bruce. Tawney. Good contest with Symons. In goes Hardwick to provide the numbers there for Essendon. Michael Long just couldn't quite control the football. And a boundary throwing. Again, Kevin Sheedy and his lieutenant, David Collins, on the interchange bench, approaching three-quarter time. Greg Deere, number 14, to do the ruck work against Gary O'Donnell. Centimetres advantage there for Greg Deere. Ball back for Hardwick. Hardwick's hand pass, pretty good. Down at the feet of Morgan, who did well. Morgan's kick to half-forward. Danaher at the back, but the mark should be paid. It's not. Campbell was trying to claim it. His kick across his left shoulder, back near the wing. Ball spills for Naish. Tigers a chance. What can Naish do? Gets it underneath it just a little bit to half-forward. Punched away from Gale. Ball spills for Callaway. Looking to give the hand pass. Still Duncan Callaway. Forced to kick then. Scrambles it to half-forward. Jurica nearly got it. Darcy somehow frustrated him out of it. Away goes Masidi. Masidi wide to the wing. Leading in the race is James Hird. Makes it his. Little half volley. Gets onto the right foot. His kick to centre half forward. Punched away from Somerville by Deere. Essendon have got the numbers here. Danaher into an open goal. Must kick this. Surely does. Don't worry about this game. It looks as though it'll go all the way down to the last few minutes. Certainly of this quarter anyway. 39 seconds left. And Essendon probably, with that goal from Chris Danaher, the last goal of his third term.
Yeah, and James Hird involved once again, but good work there by Danaher, who just looked around, saw he was comfortable, steadied, and goal.
Bombers back in front. Danaher's goal. And Campbell out of the centre. Daffy well played though by Grenville at the back. Morgan's been terrific. Hardwick's been all right too. He was a late inclusion. Both Fletcher and McCurry couldn't make it. Bond. They withdrew from the team before the match, so Essendon had a couple of late changes. Out of play between centre wing and half forward. Chris Bond, who's on Gavin Wanganeen. There's John Northey. Wanganeen, just 5 kicks tonight. Playing up the ground. Deere gets it down. Symons tries to cut it off. Kellaway. Campbell. Could there be a late score? No. Marked by Flood. At centre half back. Mercedes running for him. He kicks it in his direction. Kellaway will come late. Tawney, good take, Mercedes. And the siren goes, and
well, Big Joe played
a great quarter.
It was a great quarter, and Joe Mercedes played his part. We just saw him there gasping for breath because he came out of a back pocket, moved into the middle of the ground and did pick up a number of possessions. And there's Paul Salmon taking time out just to speak to the umpires, just questioning what was going on.
Well, Gerard, we'll get there's Wanganeen who, well, you don't have to be Einstein to work something out here tonight that every time he's gone near the footy since an incident early in that quarter has been booed. But we'll find out about that old 5-day break, won't we? In this final term, 13-8 to 13-6. Looked a big quarter for Richmond. I guess it was, but significantly, Essendon kicked the last 2 goals of that quarter, and they lead at 3/4 time, 13-8 to 13-6.
7 Sports is proud to present this match as part of the 1995 Coca-Cola AFL Premiership season.
And wouldn't John Northey love Matthew Knights out there right now, Big Dipper?
Thanks very much, Bruce. Now, mate, it's very tense down here. What's it like in the box?
Oh, mate, it's very tense up there. It's only the second time I sat in the box, and it gets very tense out, mate. I'm nearly itching to get out there to myself, actually.
Now, the question's got to be asked. Are the boys fit enough after Sunday's game?
Oh, mate, they're fit enough, and this club's got a lot of heart. The blokes out there will be 100% in that last quarter, and I think we've just about got their measure if we can get a few breaks out of the middle.
All right, thanks for joining us, mate.
Mate, thank you.
Well, the situation at 3/4 time on Sunday was that Richmond trailed Carlton by 2 points at 3/4 time. They trail Essendon tonight by 2 points. And we've had a magnificent game. Brendon Gale really set the scene, didn't he, in that 3rd quarter with 2 quick goals and then a 3rd. Acting captain tonight, filling in for Matthew Knight, who was filling in for Tony Free. Kevin Sheedy leaves the arena, as he's done so often in his 15-year career here as Essendon coach. And so often Essendon involved in big matches at the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
And Essendon not playing any wings right at the moment. As you can see, both lines there are vacant. Kellaway just on one side.
Doolan on the ground too, Gerard. Being picked up by Michael Gale, so he's having his first run.
7 players on the forward line for Essendon.
Start of the final term on Friday Night Football. It's been a magnificent match between Richmond and Essendon. The Bombers lead by 2 points. Greg Deere out of the centre, was going to go off the ground, just had an airy. Out to centre wing. Broderick leading in the race. Being pursued by Calthorpe. Well played, Broderick. Very well played. Goes to half forward with a neat kick. Gets to Naish, who had touches in that 3rd quarter, including a goal. Richmond player down off the footy there. It was Campbell. Nash bangs to fall forward. Somerville gets back, couldn't take the mark, goes to Symons, who's been outstanding tonight. One of the very best for Essendon. And kicks not too strongly, and marked by Campbell at half forward. Richmond 2 points behind. Runs away Campbell, then kicks it to win at about 15 metres. Jurica works to the front. Somerville gets back to give Darcy a hand and thumps the ball out of play. So some good work by Somerville. Young Jurica, the 19-year-old, has kicked 5 goals tonight. And Peter Somerville, who cramped a bit in that third term, has kept going very, very strongly.
Certainly blossoming with each season, Somerville. Taken by Deer. Not a bad little kick either, but off the hands of the defender and through for a rush behind. Brendon Gale just in the action there. Scott Cummings on the bench for Essendon. Looks like young Matthew Lloyd there with him. Had a run in the second term, I think, Matthew Lloyd, but still kickless and markless. The kick in towards the centre of the ground. Spills back to Greg Deer. Oh, Nash. Gee, that was a solid bump by Calthorpe. That was a good, fair, solid bump. Nash down, gets up quickly. Just the shoulder.
Yeah, but in the head.
Well, what?
You're not allowed to do that, Robbo.
Oh. Well, what's a solid shirt front then?
Well,
the kick into what's in our
you can't knock
I'll discuss this with you when we get a second. How do you absolutely shirt front a bloke?
Well,
straight
fine.
down the middle.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to knock his head off.
Well, he got the free kick anyway, and Maxfield has the ball at centre half forward.
Can kick a footy, this fella.
Yes, on the run. He's going to kick from just outside the square, between the square and the end of the line. Gets terrific distance, nearly to the line. Punched away again by Somerville. Taken away by Grenvold.
Out to half back. Calthorpe front spot. He's got it. Couple of Tigers went against him, but Calthorpe was there. You've got to give it up, Broderick.
Interesting setup in the forward line for Essendon. All the mobile players, Cockatoo-Collins, Wanganeen, Michael Long and James Hird, all clustered together.
Darcy running for him. Bouncing ball now. Well played, Richmond. Chance for Dundas. He's got to be sure here. Can just pop it over. He does. Good kick. Daffy from 60 metres. Goes to a vacant goal. But Jurica getting back with Symons. Bouncing ball. And is it forced through? It is. Scores a level. 13-8 apiece. Got excited when I saw Symons and Jurica going for the 1 footy. They're 2 of the best marks in the game. I say Jurica, one of the best marks in the game. I know he's only played 5 games, but he's got a tremendous pair of hands. It's 13-8 apiece. A blockbuster that's really turning into a classic here as Darcy keeps it very short. Danaher got a very important goal late in the third quarter, takes the mark.
Chris Danaher, good game from him. His kick out towards the wing, good mark taken by Hird. A very polished performer. That's his 12th mark. 19th possession coming up, kick 4 goals.
But because of the structure of their forward line, they've got no tools now to kick it to if Hird's down on the half-back line. That's going to be perhaps a flaw in their structure. They're going to have to chip the ball around, no long bombs.
Callaway kicks it to the members' wing. Was looking out here for Daffy, but chipping in as Grenvold. Handball just towards centre half-back. Symons has made position. His kick will land at centre half forward. Nearly knocked away by Rogers. Gather was by Long. Blindly over the top to Hird. Cockatoo-Collins taken out of it by Callaway. Away goes Rogers. The kick lands with O'Donnell. Dundas was good. Just makes it a negative situation there. And O'Donnell comes up with the ball. I'll discuss that bump with you later. I'd like to have another look and go right on with that, Gerard. Deer gets his left hand to it. Denham's done very well. Throws it onto his right foot. Terrific work by Wanganeen to just hold it up there. Long and Mercedes. Mercedes short kick Salmon on the end of it. In front of Bulluss as mark. Well, it was always going to be a thorn in Richmond's side, Paul Salmon. Those tall blokes, they certainly come into their own later on in the game. Mercedes, lovely little kick here. Denham gets it out. Wanganeen not bad in there. And Mercedes' little kick. The ball finishes with Salmon. Salmon has kicked 1 goal.
Pretty important kick, this one, Robert.
My word, certainly is. He'd probably kick this, I'd reckon. He's had a couple of misses. It goes across the face and uncharacteristically, Paul Salmon has 1 goal 3 against his name, and Essendon lead by that point. Campbell kicks to himself.
And then takes a chance, but does it pretty well. Out to Rogers with a handball. They've got it to 50 already. Rogers keeps it low. Good kick, actually. It was perfectly placed to Maxfield. So that was a good play by Richmond. Maxfield to half forward. Gale the target. Had a tremendous third quarter. Went to hands. Hardwick's handball very good to Morgan. Morgan's been excellent all night. Nice chip pass to O'Donnell. Dundas has harassed him all night. Doolan on the ground for the first time. He came on at three-quarter time. Neat kick to half forward. Heard the target. Play on called. Michael Gale, if he could get it, because Naish was on his own. Good tackle by Mercedes. Ripped it away with strength. Then little check side to half forward. Campbell will get it at centre half back. There's a point the difference. Campbell plays it on quickly. Away they go. Oh, ricocheted away now to centre wing. Taken by Symons. That was Rogers' kick that was held up. Good kick. Symons gives Hurd every chance. Couldn't quite take a specky with one hand. Keeps it in play though, Hurd. Holds Richmond up pretty well at centre half forward. 13-9, 13-8. A point the difference. James Hurd, 15 kicks, 12 marks tonight and 4 goals. Salmon lays it down. Neal, back to Salmon. The big fish on the left foot. And it's a behind. 1 goal 4 to Salmon. Wouldn't blame him for that miss, but he has missed 3 set shots from about 40 metres. And not a goal yet in this final term. We've been going over 7 minutes.
Chris Bond goes straight down the ground. 2 on 2. Up high was Callaway, taken by Gale. Feeds it out beautifully for Broderick. It bounced nicely for that player. In towards half forward, just a little bit too short there for Jurica. Lovely hands though. Was that a throw? It's been allowed. Broderick to full forward. Brendan Gale nearly got his hands on it. Daffy throws it onto his left foot. It'll land in the pocket where Hardwick has got back. The mark taken. Handball to Calthorpe. Calthorpe through half back, out to a vacant wing area. The ball bounces not kindly there for Michael Gale. And it goes over for a throw in. That patch over his right eye. The Richmond bench. Graham Bergen in the background. BOG in one of the finals back in the late 60s for the Tigers. He's the team manager. Neal doing the ruck work. Knocks it clear for another boundary throw in. There's Chris Naish. Kicked a goal in the third term. Great to see him get a couple for Richmond in this last term, but of course the Essendon fans would like him to stay at 1 goal 1. Neal and Chris Danaher. Neal, the right fist, close to the line again. And that boundary umpire for the third time in about a minute will throw it in.
With the Bombers a couple of points in front in a thriller here at the MCG. Neal and Danaher again, not much there. Naish. Still with Naish, and out of play. And we've mentioned poor Chrissy Naish. It was this day last week that his mum was buried. They wore black armbands for him last Sunday. And a late goal or 2 by him would be a terrific result, personally and for the club. He goes off the ground. Hardwick against the flow. Flood's handball. Mercedes, well done. Oh, very well done, Mercedes. Played pretty well tonight. He's kicked to centre wing. Cockatoo-Collins in the front spot. Play on call. Michael Long gets it out to Doolan. Good play. Doolan has to go back. High kick. Michael Gale's got courage. You know that. He has to sit there and he takes it.
He's had a great game, Bruce. And that was probably as an important mark as he's taken in the last few weeks.
Well, let's hope he hasn't hurt his shoulder. Gee, you just knew he'd stay there and hold it. And Somerville's a big fellow bearing down. Is he in trouble here, Gale? I think
he landed on his left shoulder, Bruce, after taking the mark.
Coming off the ground, I think. Gee, what a blow for Richmond. In the big context. Now, Bauer, you can see here having some attention. He's trying to stop a nosebleed there. So Michael Gale is coming off the ground. Scott Cummings has come on, by the way, for Essendon. That's a poor kick by Greg Deere. Richmond have got to hold it here now. Jamie Elliott's about to come back on for Richmond. Mercedes to Hurd. This is danger. He's just too good, Hurd. Plays on. Allowed to. A bounce. What a player he is. He's nearly the difference, isn't he?
Well, if the Bombers get up and win, I'd say you'd have to say that, Bruce. He's just been outstanding, and they've thrown all their eggs into the one basket here, the Bombers, because they've taken most of their big men off. I know Cummings just replaced Cockatoo-Collins, so perhaps they've recognised the fact that they need another tall out there. But up until this point, this last quarter, it's been James Hird that has had to take all the heavy work and the big marks.
13-8, 14-10. Just wondering about Hird. Going back over the mark.
Gale going up the race.
Essendon get it out of the centre. Calthorpe's kick in the direction of Hird. O'Donnell and Dundas. Dundas at the bottom of the pack, can't get the ball clear. And the umpire will bounce 45 metres from Essendon's goal. Dipper on the boundary line.
Yeah, bad news for Richmond, and Michael Gale looks like he's broken his shoulder. That can be done, Gerard.
Well, that's a shocker, isn't it? What a courageous mark and a great game he's played.
Bounce of the ball, Salmon and Bulluss. Comes to Bond, Bulluss takes it. Bulluss's kick goes towards centre half forward. Broderick at the back, will it sit? He's tackled, didn't have the football. Symons after it. Symons kick off the ground, goes across the half back line, only as far as Brendon Gale. Goal number 4 to Brendon Gale. No, misses to the left. 3 goals, 1 to the big man in the number 25 Guernsey.
Remember they missed a couple, Gerard, on Sunday. Nation kneeled in the last quarter that were vital.
Yeah, Darcy's kick in, finds Doolan. Doolan in the left back pocket.
Runs his full quota, then kicks it into the centre square. Greg Deere interfered with, free kick. It'll come back. Richmond need the next goal. They trail 13-9 to 14-10. Jurica's at full forward, offering half a lead now. Deere's going to try and get it to Jurica. He's kicked it in his direction. Getting back Symons as he's done so well. Darcy looked for a free, wasn't there. Grenville caught. He's gone. It'll be Daffy's, I think, or Jurica. Or going now to Broderick. Well, what a big kick this one is. Cockatoo-Collins off the ground. He looked exhausted about 5 minutes ago. The doctor went out to have a look at him. Greg Deere, by the way, off the ground now. And Justin Charles back on. A couple of Richmond blokes there. Well, this is a big kick. Huge for Broderick. He has kicked one tonight. He's a class act. And you reckon if the Tigers will win with less than 10 minutes to go, Paul Broderick's got to dob it. He'll kick it from 45 on a 45-degree angle. It's neat, but he's hooked it close. He might have got it. He has. Well, that set it up perfectly now. It'll go right down to the wire.
It's been that sort of game, hasn't it? And we'll just see the free kick coming. I thought it was a pretty brave decision by John Russo to pay this one. Not much of an opportunity there, but he's paid it.
Depends who you barrack for. Oh, Denham was good there, although technically he has been penalised, but he nearly held Chris Naish up. But Naish gets the free kick. Runs down with that right foot towards half forward. Taken by Darcy, missed it altogether. In goes Brendon Gale, Jurica it was. Kick forward by Campbell. Across the face of goal, it'll bounce out of bounds in the left forward pocket for the Tigers.
I know it's a long way from the Bombers forward line, but at the moment they've got Scott Cummings in the square. He's being picked up by Rogers, now kneeled. He's got a bit of a height advantage.
Flood, Brendon Gale at the back, Jurica. Took it out of the air but couldn't break clear. And the umpire will bounce 20 metres from Richmond's goal.
And the big fish is being summoned to the centre square, perhaps down onto the ball, getting in amongst the action.
Essendon lead by a point. Kevin Sheedy,
Somerville coming off the ground.
Bench, obviously to replace Peter Somerville. Flood, tackled a bit high by Campbell. Play allowed to go on, umpire will bounce it again, but it's right on the end of the square for the Tigers. Cockatoo-Collins having a breather on the bench.
It's where a Naish or a Daffy, you reckon they could rove a goal here, would be handy. It's what they're best at. Ball comes to ground, now Salmon, well done, very well done. Symons, laterally, it's good footy by the Bombers. Denham Gee, the umpire was nearly going to ping him. Didn't quite. Denham well played.
Great play.
To Symons. To Calthorpe. Here's a chance. Calthorpe away with a bounce. A second. He could go all the way, David. A third. Handball to HIRD. Sits. Waits. Gets it back. Danger. Salmon's little left footer. Cut off. Not quite effectively, though. They've played around with it, the Bombers. Doolan wanted to throw it away. And Richmond hold it up. They're still with it, Richmond. Nash back turn. Gave it away. They'll be okay, Richmond. Look at this. Bond's got it. He'll kick it long to Gale. Gale should mark it. He's got it. Oh, that's a big play for the Tigers, with Calthorpe running into an open goal and nothing coming of it. Gale's kicked the centre half forward. Bouncing ball, Broderick to Nash. He's normally clever. Jurica sets. He gets himself, Daffy I should say, with Grenvold. Grenvold holds it up. Still holds it up. They can't quite get him. Tawney's got him. Daffy's got it now. And Hardwick comes in. And that's as tense as you'd ever want it.
And once again, the feature of the play there from the Tigers was just the gang tackling, first of all on the half-back line, where they robbed Essendon of the ball. They should have converted with that forward line play, and now it's their forward line tackling just as well.
Elliott over the top. In there was Maxfield. Salmon. He did get rid of it. He's done it well to Denham. That's twice Salmon's done well in defence. And still Essendon lead by a point.
Paul Salmon in the picture, in the foreground. Justin Charles, boundary throw in. Left half forward for Essendon. Mark Williams there on the Essendon bench. Former Collingwood and Brisbane Bears player. Well done, Charles. Got the front posse from Salmon, then got the hand pass away. Kicked back towards the wing, taken by Dundas. Dundas kick, not all that good. Oh, through goes Broderick and made the ball his. Then tried to kick it clear, and in the lap of the policeman, Paul Broderick. In the strong arms of the law, eh?
We just saw Dundas pop up with another touch. He's done particularly well on Gary O'Donnell since going on to him midway through the third quarter.
Boundary throw in, Charles again. Gets rid of Salmon. Ball spills now. Tawney was nearly a chance. And the umpire calls for a bounce about 25 metres from Richmond's goal. Cockatoo-Collins just doing some stretching exercises on the boundary line. Essendon lead by a point. There's 6.5 minutes left.
Charles and Salmon. Campbell couldn't quite get his foot to it. Well played, Morgan. Bangs it away, gets it outside 50. Gale's there with Flood. There's Michael Long. With him is Bauer. Long playing it in front. Still with it. Then tapped it back to Gale. Gale's had a tremendous second half. Back to the 50. Richmond have got numbers. They can't make a mess of it. The handball by Prescott to Nash. He's a great kick normally. Nash gets it right there. Symons. It's bouncing, and still Essendon won't concede it behind. They still lead by a point. Morgan's kick is a beauty. Gets O'Donnell. He was going to play on the Mercedes, called to play on. Chips it to Long. Bond comes in. Does it magnificently. Elliott couldn't control it. Dundas' little give to Bond. Here's a go. Bond to Maxfield. Go and kick the goal, Stewie. Straighten it up. Bang it home. It's a beauty. They're in front, the Tigers. Weren't that lifted off the ground? What a play by Bond.
Well, it was a difference. Bond was going in the fourth gear, and Michael Long was just cruising. Thought he was pretty clear. There's Symons limping. But that was one of the goals of the season. What a build-up it was. The Tigers, I think, they're not going to go down in this one. They learnt their lesson from last week. You'd reckon they'd win it from here.
Well, a great game. Richmond in front by 5 points. Rogers. Cockatoo-Collins, well tackled there by Broderick and Charles. Umpire will bounce just a metre or so from the centre circle.
Got the momentum, the Tigers, haven't they? They just rested it off the Bombers midway through the third. I reckon
Salmon gets it down. Denham, kick it quickly, he does. Just gets it onto his left foot. Bauer and Long, well tackled by Long from behind. And could have been nearly penalised. Bauer, he is. Long with the footy. Bit iffy, Gerard.
Oh, I thought it was a bit tough. Michael Long holding the ball in.
Just a reasonable game from Long. 5 kicks and 11 hand passes. The ball to full forward. Nearly a mark. Back there to O'Connor. Bulluss not happy. What was he screaming for? Paul Bulluss, he was behind.
I think he was suggesting that you played holding the ball down 50 metres away. Why not this time?
Fair enough. Umpire bounces 20 metres from Essendon's goal.
76,600 the official attendance. Quick kick away. O'Donnell. Doolan, great tackle by Rogers. Doolan. Wanganeen, he'll get a free. Gee, Richmond will hate this. Wanganeen from 50. Cummings leads. This would be a Richmond nightmare if Wanganeen could kick the winning goal. Still plenty of time remaining. He's going to kick from just outside 50. He's timed it pretty well. He's kicked it right there. It's off hands and it's a behind. 14-11 to 15-9. Well, this has been one of the best matches of the season. It's really had everything. Remember that Essendon kicked 4 goals early in the match to set up a sizable lead, and the Tigers have been coming back ever since. They lead by 4 points, Richmond. It will be a famous victory in the long history of their club if they can pull this off.
Broderick comes to the members' side. Kicks it well outside 50 metres. Good mark. Excellent mark taken by Bulluss. He can go down the boundary line. No, just couldn't quite get back quick enough. He's got an awkward kicking style, so he did well. Got 50 metres with the kick. Brendon Gale third in line. Oh, tap on. Brendon Gale. The tap on came from Rogers. Gale to centre half forward. Calthorpe. In goes Daffy. What can Nick Daffy do? Kicks it to the square. Jurica. Still Jurica. He can't get his foot to it, and the Essendon player in that contest should be congratulated. It's Tim Darcy. Well done.
In fact, he's had a pretty good game. We've raved a bit about Jurica tonight, but Darcy's also done particularly well. It's been a great battle.
Bounce of the ball in the square for Richmond. Up goes Symons. Gets it back. Mercedes concedes a behind with the hand pass. Richmond's third rush behind, and Salmon having a spell and would probably see it out now. There's only 2.5 minutes left, and Richmond lead by 5 points.
Darcy short, oh, missed Danaher. Bouncing ball, Dundas went to ground, unfortunately for Richmond. O'Donnell with strength, able to get a long handball away to Denham, out of play. Well, that's a good result for Richmond.
I think that 5-day break was an absolute myth. Well, these guys get really fit.
They beat Brisbane this year after a 5-day break.
I reckon it's... Essendon looked the tired team to me.
In fact, 6 of the last 9 teams have won after a 5-day break.
Hurd into the action. Kicks it back. Grenville, was it? Broderick, hand pass. Dundas again. This time it's a good kick by Dundas to the square. At the back. Giving away another behind was Hardwick.
Important one too, Robbo. It's a goal the difference there.
Fourth rush behind to Richmond. And 2 minutes left. Just 6 points the margin.
Darcy short. Cockatoo-Collins runs away. They're going to have to chase. Daffy and Bowell must commit. Cockatoo-Collins 3. He's going to try and take this all the way. 4, 5. Handball to Calthorpe. It was a good play. Calthorpe kicks a beauty. Oh, Cummings missed it. Campbell. That's a bad mistake by Cummings. Centre wing. Richmond have got the numbers. Doolan outnumbered completely. Did well, Doolan. But a free kick to... Who's it going to? To Doolan.
Had to be Doolan. He was pushed in the back.
Well, that's silly play by the Tigers. They had all the numbers.
Oh, just a shepherd went wrong, I think.
Doolan from centre wing. Heard the target. Why not? Kellaway's with him now when it counts most. Danaher. Bond. Danaher. Somerville. Long one to fall forward. Cummings with a chance to redeem himself. It's going to be a drawn game. O'Connor's got it. It's all square. Scores a level. There's a minute remaining.
Yeah, I think a great result. A draw. It's been a great result all around. It's terrific being impartial, because you can sit here and look at that face of Tony Jewell. We've seen him in an exasperated looks about 10 years ago on the same spot. He's no longer coach, he's chairman of selectors. But it is fantastic to be an impartial football lover at the MCG on Friday night with one of the games of the season.
A minute left, scores level, nearly 80,000 fans on their feet at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Who can win this centre clearance? Dundas can't get that ball clear, and the umpire will repeat the bounce. Very, very important here, the centre clearance. Symons going down the ground into the forward line.
Being picked up by Broderick, so a bit of a pace discrepancy there.
Ruckman, neither one can get an effective tap out. Nearly kicked forward there by Bond, a free kick. It will go to O'Donnell, seconds ticking away. Can either side get a score? O'Donnell short kick in the Symons direction. Gets the handball for Denham. Bond tackled too high, take a free kick, Chris Bond. It will be a drawn game. 16 seconds left. Bond is between centre-half back and the centre of the ground. His kick will land at centre-half forward. The Tigers need a mark. Brendon Gale couldn't take it. Grenvold to Doolan. Doolan across the half-back line. A good kick. Essendon retained possession. The siren has sounded. And what a magnificent game of football. Ends in a draw. And a fair result. They have kicked 15-11 apiece. Essendon and Richmond. Look at Campbell, outstretched. The cramp on the Essendon player. And a drawn game, a fair result.
First time in 18 years these two teams have had a draw. Round 7, 1977 was the last time. Here's Dipper.
Well, what can I say? 80,000 people, fantastic game. On behalf of all the football followers around Australia, terrific game. Your feelings here?
Oh, mate, I don't care about the followers. Yeah. No, I just gutted it.
Very disappointing for you. Yeah. For yourself, you played a terrific game of centre-half forward today, one of your best games this year.
It's insignificant, mate.
I'll let you go. Let you go.
Well, Brendon
very
Gale,
disappointed there.
Yeah, Dipper, obviously Brendon Gale taking it like a huge loss. Well, what about Richmond's performance?
You could be disappointed by Brendon Gale. I mean, you could be a point behind, couldn't you, and lose the game?
No, it's just one of those things. You just don't know. The emotions are just up and down when you have a drawn game. It's very difficult, I think, when you're in front with a minute to play to be excited about drawing.
Well, what a spectacle it was all night. Essendon put it to Richmond. Tigers have been almost written off this week in this game.
No, no doubt. I think Wayne Campbell made the point fairly emphatically that they were out to prove a point that they weren't going to be bowed under pressure. Look at all the players, the Richmond players in particular, copped some heavy knocks. We know that Michael Gale went up with a broken shoulder, as Dipper described it, perhaps a collarbone. But they did pay well, I think they've just disputed that 5-day break.
Well, I reckon they've had a moral victory, to be quite honest with you. They've got 2 points out of it. They haven't lost the game. I reckon they've had half a moral victory.
Well, hard to argue with that. I reckon when you go in at 7-2 underdogs and you get a draw, that you've got something out of it, haven't you?
It wasn't Kevin Sheedy letting Scott Cummings know what he thought about his last quarter performance.
Well, what a magnificent performance by the two clubs. And if anyone doubted Richmond in 1995, you can put the eraser through that doubt in a hurry. This is a club with tremendous spirit. They're a club that are going to be very competitive when it gets to the end of this season. That Chris Bond play, when Stuart Maxfield kicked the goal with about 6 minutes to go, was unforgettable. Tingles up the back, wasn't it? Tony Jewell, the chairman of selectors in the background there. He's wearing a very fashionable tie tonight, but, well, magnificent game. Huge crowd tonight, and they really got their money's worth. So Essendon, with 2 draws this season, along with Collingwood. So they played out a draw here on Anzac Day before 94,000, and a draw again tonight. So the final scores here, Richmond are 15-11, 101. And the Bombers 15-11, 101.
Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did on the 7 Network right around Australia. What a wonderful match. They'll talk about this one for a long time. Richmond and Essendon, a draw. 15-11. A piece, 101 each. HIRD got 5 goals for the Bombers. He was superb. And Jurica got 5 for Richmond. And in the Richmond rooms, it's we look at Nick Daffy now. It's like a loss for them, isn't it, Gerard? You can just feel that John Northey has put so much into this week. It's us versus the rest of the world. He'd set themselves, and have a look at this. They've spent a lot of emotion out there. Wayne Campbell, oh so close. I guess the fact that they'd come from behind all night, had got to the front, had the front taken off them, then got back, and then had that goal taken away when O'Connor was able to kick the last goal within a minute to go.
Yeah, I'm sure both clubs feel like losers, but in particular Richmond, because they knew that they had the momentum. They missed a couple of little goals in the last quarter, a couple of easier ones that they could have perhaps even extended that lead. But, well, whilst they can feel like losers, you just got to admire the way they played tonight, because they've been, I guess, they've got some wretched injuries. They got a couple on the night. They just kept going and going. All night I thought that Essendon would perhaps go away with a win, except for the last quarter where it was just all Richmond, and they were just fantastic. But you can't take anything away from Essendon. They still fought it out and pinched an unlikely goal.
What about the team stats for the Tigers?
Well, Paul Broderick just struggled a little bit in the first half, but he got some important touches in the second half, and he worked pretty hard, as he always does. Brendon Gale, I thought, was outstanding for Richmond. Wayne Campbell had a good second half. Chris Nace had a good second half, particularly when he went up in the middle of the ground. I thought that Bauer's performance on Lung was excellent. James Hird, look at those statistics. He's a great player, isn't he? Sean Denham worked particularly hard. And I thought Morgan's game was a beauty. For a bloke playing only his third game, he really does show something.
You made mention of this, Kevin Sheedy talking to Scott Cummings coming off the ground.
Yeah, well, we know that he dropped a mark, a pretty critical mark in that last quarter, and I think Kevin just let him know that wasn't up to speed.
OK, we'll get your vote shortly. We'll take a break. Back with more from the MCG after this. Welcome back. Ashley Prescott just in the background there. Can't quite get a view of. There he is. As Richmond just soak it all in on a night of high drama here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Sportswell votes, how did you give them?
Well, unfortunately for Prescott, I gave it to his man, James Hird. I thought just showed what a great player he is. He gets so many balls on the rebound. He brings the ball to ground, then robes his own marks or his own misses. And look, I didn't think there was any problem with John Northey leaving Prescott on there. It's in the end that they almost pinched a win. Brendon Gale, it's the best game I've seen Brendon Gale play. He missed one goal in the last quarter that he should have got, but that was probably his only mistake. He took some fantastic marks today and just led. His first quarter was outstanding. His first 10 minutes was brilliant. And in particular the third quarter, he got them back into the game. And I thought Michael Gale's performance, I know he went off in the last quarter, but he went off in pretty courageous circumstances. I thought he was, well, a pretty good player. It was pretty tough the last one. There were so many excellent players out in the ground. And
the fluctuations here, the score difference.
Wasn't the third quarter fantastic? It was just goal for goal for goal for goal. You've got to take your hat off to both of these sides. They give great value for money. In particular, Richmond, we've seen two of the best quarters you'd like to see in 2 weeks.
Yes, that third quarter on Sunday and the third quarter again. Second half highlights, and the third quarter was just thrilling, but this is last quarter highlights, in fact, with Essendon going to the left.
Well, James Sheedy's move into the midfield in the last half was important. He set this one up. I just wondered whether there was a bit of a blue there about Hird not going back over the mark. The umpire, it looked as if he'd called time on, which he probably hadn't. That was the one that you like so much, Bruce. Chris Bond coming in. It was just a lesson there that you just got to go for every ball flat out. Long was going in to take that on his chest. He should have taken it flat out on his hands, but what a finish there from Stuart Maxfield, who really has come of age in this last couple of seasons.
And unfortunately for Bond, he had the hand on the free there, but his last quarter was magnificent. And O'Connor at the back, Bulluss committed, and O'Connor to kick the goal.
Yeah, it's only a half punch there from Bulluss. It should have been the big one. He went for the open palm.
We'll take a break and catch our breath again, and back with more after this. And once again, that now famous scoreboard, isn't it? All locked away, Richmond and Essendon, 15 goals, 11 each. Stuart Maxfield, Dr. Dipper tells us that he's got a very sore jaw, not sure if it's broken or not. You did notice earlier in the match after Shepherd that he went to the half-forward flank, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that happened just midway through the second quarter. And, well, it just typified what happened out there tonight. It was a pretty vicious game, I thought. Not in a nasty way, but just tough.
Let's check the ladder.
The 1995 AFL Premiership League ladder, brought to you by Coca-Cola.
And they're 3 and 5 going in. They've actually jumped up a bit, but the changes will come. But important Essendon, because they get back on square with 40 now, but 2 and 4, but there will be some changes over the weekend when we have a look at the rounds coming up in a moment. Pick the winners in half a minute, Gerard.
Well, I think you'd have to go for Carlton at Optus Oval. Hawthorn, I think, will get over Fremantle at Waverley. North Melbourne should account for Sydney, and Melbourne should get over Fitzroy. Interesting game on Sunday. I'm going for Collingwood up there. I've changed my mind in a week. And West Coast against Footscray. And in a danger game, I think Geelong would get home against St Kilda.
Good on you, Gerard. What a great night it was at the Melbourne Cricket Ground tonight. We came here with high expectation, and we've left with a thriller. A draw between Richmond and Essendon.